Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers Live. It's Monday at 1 p.m. and we are live. And I want to welcome everybody who's already in the chat room. I will, for those of you that don't know, I have a screen down here so I can keep up with the comments. Mark is the first one in on the comments today. 40 minutes almost early. Late. What do I know about Arnold? Nothing. I haven't heard anything about Arnold. Hey, U-Haul, New York. Yeah, that's true for sure. Kenneth, we'll forgive you for that. I appreciate you being here every Monday, and that goes for everybody, really. It's 51 degrees here in Lafayette, which is really amazing. So I hope everyone is enjoying the good weather, all right? Richard, what's going on out there today? Ryan, good afternoon to you. Some people morning, I guess. Jeff, hello. Trucker Hershey, yeah, I read that comment. Driving after 100-mile retorque, that's not a DOT requirement. I actually looked that up a minute ago. They only have to be torqued properly for the DOT. So they must require it maybe at your company, something like that. So, yeah, so, by the way, hello, Will. Jason went to the unemployment office and has to pay because he make over $2,500. Can't get a state grant. It depends on your state, I will tell you. So apparently Ohio, it's $2,500. You know, each state is different. Certainly worth the call to check. You might have got it, you know, just never know. And truck school is $5,800, a bargain. People go to college for $100,000 and still serve me. I still think it's a bargain. Chris, hello there. James Miller, thank you for coming in. Mad Maldy, what's going on today? U-Haul, of course, is here. Peterbilt, oh, you're out here today. I didn't know that I'd see you today. What's happening down there today? Take you back to early computer programming days. I don't know about that. What we can program in BASIC on our Commodore 64 or my Timex Sinclair that I used to have, if any of you remember those computers. Yes, the Timex Sinclair, as I attempt to catch up here with technology here. All right, so there we go. Mr. Skeptical is here. What's happening? We ate at Denny's yesterday. I just want to let you know that. So that was pretty good. Josh is here, and let's see. Oh, thanks, Blue Lion. I appreciate it. Kansas at 60 degrees. All right, so that's even better than here. So David started CDL school today. The first week is rough. Yeah, the bookwork is a disaster. You know, when I went to CDL school, which was truck school then, there wasn't much of that. They said, oh, don't worry, your company will teach you all that stuff. So we didn't have as much of that now, or then, as we do now. Raymond, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. You, Bold Venture, missed the last two shows. You're on a paid vacation. There's no vacation from this show, though. That doesn't mean you can't watch the show. I mean, come on. Mike, yeah, everybody should be safe out there, certainly. A light bright. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Triple V, I'm doing awesome here at 50 some degrees, which is incredible. Kim had a total of 3 times you got laid over a day and a half in the last 9 days. Well, it depends what they're paying. You know, if they pay you for it, I don't mind it so much. But if I'm not getting paid anything, that's not good. Oh, Peterbilt, oh, you're at school right now? What the heck? It better be a lunch break over there. Holy moly, we would have had to try to log in on a rotary phone. So let's see. Al is a driver from New York and Missouri. Yeah, that's always the way to go, outbound of New York, right? Josh, it was at Denny's. Look, everybody's at Denny's this weekend. All right, so you saw Swift Diamond. You taught 2 Swift Diamond drivers in 1 week. Wow. I wonder if they're proud of themselves over there. Okay, Mr. Skeptical starts this out, right? You heard the ELD exemption in New York is for owner-operators. No, okay. It's 72 in Fort Worth, says Randall. Oh, really? Okay, that's, you know, you only got 20 degrees on me, which is unusual. This ELD thing in New York, I put a video out about it yesterday. Let's talk about it today. So there's not really an exemption in New York State. Here's what happened, and this is why everybody should join OOIDA. All right, so it turns out that if you take federal grant money, I was reading this thing, you have to adopt the federal statutes into your state statutes for this FMCSA, like the ELD exemption and that. And New York State didn't do it. So December 31st was the last day that they were officially allowed to enforce the electronic logs in New York State. They continued to enforce it in the new year. OOIDA went to court immediately and got it stopped and said, no, you need to adopt the rules. So officially, right now, New York State cannot write you up for an electronic log violation. They also cannot transfer your data from your electronic log into their system. You know how you can have it sent over to them in states or whatever. They're not allowed to do that. All they can use your electronic log for is to look on the top of it, and see what your log is, because it's a log for most of us, including me. But they cannot write on an inspection report any kind of ELD violation. So in theory, you could hand them a paper log, and currently they're required to accept it in New York State because they never adopted the law that they want to enforce. They like to enforce laws, but sometimes it goes back against them. And OOIDA needs money to do this. And so that's why I encourage everyone to join OOIDA. But look, this is not going to be forever. This isn't. It's for right now, which will help people there currently, but it won't be forever. It'll probably take them a few months because OOIDA is making them go through their whole process. It turns out in New York State, they have to have a public comment period before they adopt the law, and they're going to make them do that as well. So if you're running New York State right now and there's some kind of ELD problem, fill a paper log out and hand it out there. They have to take it at the moment. At the moment. I don't know how long that will last. I'm sure OOIDA will keep us updated on it. But right now, paper logs are okay. ELD is okay. They can't write you up for electronic log in New York State. You're a copper driver. Chris is a copper driver. Yeah, always take third place is good enough. Gearhead, what's happening out there? Oh, thank you, Merch. I appreciate that. You binged on it. It's a good channel to binge on, if I do say so. GSXR, what's happening out there? When you become a diamond driver, it's worth as much as cubic. They should have cubic drivers there too. That'd be really good, right? Hello from Hammond, Indiana, right? My stomping grounds. As you know, I grew up in Hammond, Indiana, went to Hammond High School. All driver schools are a ripoff. They don't teach you anything right, and some are just in it for the money. That's true, but some places won't hire you without it. And it is a way to get your license. Even if you pay them $6,000, the school wasn't any good. Let's look at it this way. If you get your license at the end of it, you got something of value, worthwhile, something worthwhile. Mad Melody, sounds like a dumb fight to pick for OOIDA. Well, they need to follow the same law that everybody else follows in New York State. So we need to make them follow their own laws. We can't let them get away with stuff because then they're out writing somebody up for stupid stuff. So let's have New York State take the heat for a little while at least. They're going to get it turned over. They'll adopt the law eventually, but it'll take a little bit of time. So David's school is only $4,000. That's even better price. I've seen some for 10. He was happy to. So the GA bill paid for it. So really, it's no money out of pocket. You get your license at no cost. And then you can go wherever you want without a contract. That's the best way to do it. Blue Line took my advice and gave 2 weeks. Sitting is slavery. Yes. Sitting without pay is slavery. But, it's voluntary. It's like voluntary slavery. Don't volunteer for something that people fought to get out of. If you're sitting without being paid, that isn't any good. Your teacher already got on you for having your phone out without your earplugs. Oh, so you can have a phone in class now as long as you wear an earplug? That's really something. We would have to bring out gigantic, rotary phone and slam it on the table. Are you a rack'em sack'em cowboy? I don't know exactly about that. It's about time I did Western. Yeah, Western has just been always on the fringes. But then somebody else would always come up that was worth. But I thought Western should start the year out. You can't do anything about it. Yeah, that's true, right. If FMCA would get us proper hours to work, the ELD wouldn't be an issue. No, I think if you got paid for all your time, the electronic log wouldn't be an issue. And I just posted on my Facebook page this weekend, JAT, which is a company I found out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, posting. They're running over-the-road drivers on the clock, 25 an hour plus OT. All your time is paid. That is logged. So an over-the-road, sleeping in the truck job on the clock. That's the future. And that's a good example of if you look around, you can get paid for all your time. Imagine if you get $25 an hour plus overtime for all of your logged time. That is on my Facebook page at Trucking Answers. I posted it yesterday, I think, because I happened to see it. If I did relate, all my first cousin's wife suddenly quitting her New York State job after 23 years. Yeah, Timothy, when are you coming over here? Are you going to get over here? Truck driver, happy Monday to you out there as well. What's the government shutdown? Yeah, the government is basically half closed, but it doesn't affect things like, people said, oh, trash pickup, trash is local, that kind of thing is local. So it's not really affecting us too much. I will say this, now that it's January, the government did announce no tax refunds will be processed until the government opens back up. So if any of you are expecting a large refund, which you may not this year after the tax, if you get your taxes and realize you can't use per diem anymore, many of us, you may not be expecting a refund, but no refunds will be processed while the government is closed. I thought that was interesting. So New York is not enforcing ELD, right? They're not allowed to write tickets for it. They can only look at it and use it as a logbook. Swift needs to learn to straight line back. The driver that was not backing straight needs to be taught how to back straight by their trainer. WEL companies, is it going to be good or bad when I look at it? Unemployment pays for CDL school. Will that be even for someone that is working, that is making money? You have 2 Swift contract drivers and 2 Amazon lot drivers in class with me. Oh, that's really something. CDL school registered driving hours to the DMV for the driving test. Where are we going with that? Cattle haulers don't have to worry about an E-log. That's correct. They have an unlimited exemption for, what they say, an undefined period of time. How will the government shutdown affect the trucking industry? I don't think it's going to affect us that much other than our refunds. So anybody that gets a refund, you're going to wait because they're not processing refunds. So if it goes longer, once you start doing your taxes or whatever, if people do them early, I wait until April, but people that do them early, no refund. You're just going to sit there and wait. Do I like Stevens? No. They should shut down the scales. The scales are run by the state though, right? So that's what I thought too, but it's like Indiana State, Tennessee State scale. So unfortunately, they will be out there. Who won Crab Company of the Year? I'm going to announce that next Monday, but I'll tell you this. And I'll announce it to the live show here first. But they're not going to be at the truck show. I was looking at the thing. They're not going to be at the truck show. So I don't want people to come if you were coming just for that. I don't know who would just coming for that, but I wanted to say they will not be at the truck show. There's going to be an alternative giving of the trophy, which I have ordered. Per diem, Kevin, per diem is gone. Yes, starting last January, right? So for 2018 tax year, you cannot get per diem on the road like we used to. Truck drivers can't do that. It was stopped. They doubled the standard deduction from $6,000 something to $12,000, but the per diem was always way more than that. And there's no more per diem for company drivers on the road. And so that was last year. Hopefully you did some good tax planning last year for that, because if you didn't have much withheld this year, you may owe money, so you may not get as much of a refund. Have your tax professional do that. And don't go to H&R Block. I tell people this. Don't go to one of these places that doesn't do truck taxes if you're going to have somebody do them. Get a service that deals with truck drivers, not just at H&R Block. So that's what I think you should do for that. Want to start the first mail order pizza company? No. Not going to be as fresh as possible. What's the method to determine overhead clearance if there's no sign? The faster you go, the lower the bridge you can get under. The faster you go, the lower the bridge. If there's no sign, generally, it's good. It's over 14.6 or something if they don't sign it. But, you may have to just drive up to it and see if you hit it. Look, get out and look that way. That's the only way to do it. Or just go as fast as possible. You can get under probably 12 feet if you're going 60, I think. Ivona, right, 14.6. That's what I was thinking. If it's over 14, but somebody could have taken the sign. It could have fallen off. It may be in a garage of someone in their back of their garage. You're still, Mr. Skeptical is confused. You're you could cheat on your logs, but only if it's ELD. No, you can't. We can't cheat on our logs anywhere, of course. They cannot transfer your electronic log data to them because they're right now, and they cannot write you a ticket for an ELD violation. They can't put down like you don't have an electronic log. They can't write that as a violation in New York State. They still can enforce the hours of service, but they are not allowed to enforce the electronic log mandate in New York State. I guess that's a better way to put it. So even if you don't have one, they can't write it up because in New York State, they can't enforce it. All they're allowed to do is look at it to determine if you are complying with the hours of service. If they gave us our taxes, we wouldn't have to pay them. Yeah, if they didn't take your money, you wouldn't have to give it back to them, right? Fuel prices are dropping, but gas went up. So, and I'm not an owner-operator, so I don't keep up with it much. Gas went up here. Wife's car was $2.54 yesterday. Is sleep apnea still in effect for Texas DOT exam? I didn't know there was an apnea rule. I thought, federal DOT requirements for the physical are nationwide. That's how I thought that worked. So if it's a certain thing in Texas, they have some certain rule. I'm not sure about a certain Texas rule, but I doubt they would change it. So if the company takes per diem, can we still do that? Yes, Kim, that's the only way that you can do it right now. Companies can pay you per diem still, and you're just not allowed to deduct it on your taxes starting last year. So no tax deduction, but companies can pay it. Yes, that is still allowed. That's why a lot more companies now are paying it because drivers can't take it. Livestock should stay exempt. You don't want to let cattle sit. I agree. Livestock, bees also, as we found out. We don't want the cattle sitting around in there, pigs, whatever's in there. So Peterbilt, right, we talked about that. That's going to be in a week, but they're not going to be at the truck show. Here's a tip. Look for local drivers and follow what they do under the bridge. When I drove local Chicago, though, we had a city flyer trailer, and it was 12.6. So it depends who you're watching and what they're doing. So sometimes if I had that trailer, I would just go flying around Chicago without any problem. And if you followed me, you would have a problem because, oh, the sign, whatever, is not there, and I go right under it. I didn't have as tall a trailer as everybody else, so I could get around town. Any recommendation for a new independent contractor? As long as you own your own truck and authority, you should be fine. If you're leased on, give it back. Do I see the ELD being gone anytime soon? No, never. It will never leave. It's here to stay. This New York State thing, it's just temporary. Came across a video that shows how ELDs are causing more accidents and then preventing them. Title of video, 3 things you need to know. Yeah, I mean, they can cause accidents because you have to follow this. But here's the thing. The ELD didn't change the rules, right? You had to follow the law anyway. So, and which I've always told people to run legal. So, and even OOIDA supports running legal. So, run legal. The only solution to all this is running legal. It's totally the only solution. Because you cheat, that's why the companies force you to do it. Because you sit for free, that's why you sit for free. It's totally in our control. After running hard and it burned my hand, how did the EGTs? Yeah, I would say after running hard and shutting down, your exhaust did get hot, right? Subway at Love's wanted to charge you $2. Well, that's a problem, James. You should totally argue with them over $2. My wife is somebody like that too. We'll be at the store and, it's something doesn't ring up 40 cents difference, and she'll argue with them for 20 minutes about it. I'm like, holy mackerel, just give them the 40 cents. Did I know cattle haulers sometimes haul bison? I assume they haul everything that is alive that can go in there other than people. I vote at the peas bring me to my knees. Yes. 2 questions, right? Okay, crab company, I'm going to get and is bed before I quit this job since it's my 3rd job for about a year. I thought you liked that place. I thought that was doing good for you there, really. I mean, one week, 1 week of bad problems is, there can be problems. That's the interesting thing there. So is this going to be a long-term thing? It seemed like it was going to pay pretty good. Remember when Mack made good-looking trucks? No, I never found them that great of looking trucks. I think the Anthem is a good-looking truck. And the crap company of the year will be announced next week. But here first, it'll be announced here live first. But they're not going to be at the truck show. I looked it up. Did I bait anyone into a bridge? No, I never thought about it then. It was early in my career, and I was just happy I could get to the bridges. Trucker Hershey says 1,600 on the exhaust. Yeah, look out. He needs to talk to me on the phone when I have free time. That's a real deal there, right? Generally, I don't call people on the phone. We can arrange a Google meeting. Email me if we want to do that. I might do some of those. Mark@truckinganswersnation.com. Jimmy, thank you. I agree and I appreciate it. If 1,000 trucks park in front of the White House and refuse to leave, they'll notice that no one wants an electronic log. They'll just tow you away and arrest everybody. That wouldn't solve, that kind of thing doesn't solve anything, right? And I don't mind the electronic log, right? I'm different than everybody. I think you should run legal. If everybody ran legal, look, if you parked loads 5 minutes from their destination because that's as far as the log lets you drive, how long do you think it'd take before the laws change then? You park in front of the White House, you just get towed away and arrested. Let loads sit all over the country. Run legal. Stop running illegal. Stop doing this stuff for companies. If it's 10 minutes away, say, well, too bad, come and get it. You know, or I'll see you in 10 hours. That is the solution. Just parking in front of the White House, that's not going to solve anything. Critical mistake. They take the honor out of trucking as paper logs were self-governed. Yeah, self-governed meaning everybody cheated on them, right? So not a fan. You're pulling hard up at 6% Euro, got the 235. As long as the gauge didn't go red, right, I keep it rolling. And those signs turn the air off. I'm not turning my air off in the summertime. It's hot out. Oh, you should turn off your air. I don't think so. Can't you make more money running illegal? Not really. You know, because you make less money. You're working more. If you would run legal, you would make more because they need more drivers. And so you'd make the money for working less time. You're not solving your problem by running illegal. Believe me. If you cannot get per diem, more truck drivers will leave trucking. Yeah, you can't get per diem. It started last year. It's already over. So you cannot deduct per diem as a company driver. If your company paid it, it's allowed. But you can no longer deduct it. So when you go to do your taxes here soon or whenever you do them this year, no per diem deduction. They doubled the standard deduction from about $6,000 to $12,000 or so. So that's going to help. But the per diem was always, you know, $15,000, $18,000. So people that didn't plan last year, be ready to write a check here in April. What should you do if the bridge out slow to 60? Because it's a semi, you'll probably have to drive faster to to get the energy to get over the span of where the bridge is out. You heard per diem only saves the company money. Yeah, it saves the company's money because many companies that pay per diem reduce your pay. They have, say, 40 cents, example, or per diem is 10 cents per diem and 18 cents of pay. So, you know, they change it up like that, or 28 cents a pay, say. That's 38 cents. You lose a couple cents when they pay you the per diem. It saves them a ton of money and hoses you over the long term. You're getting paid less than where you're getting paid at your own job. Well, if you can't afford your bills, you got to bail. I mean, you can't work for nothing, but it depends. If your bills are $15,000 a month too, but so seriously, that's a thing. But if you just have regular bills and you're making $300 a week, $400 a week, you got to hit the road, literally, from that place. Or tell them, look, you got to give me some money or I'm out of here. It's worth talking to them since you're already there. They don't give you loads. You got a job offer from Baylor? Well, check them out. Don't play with Washington. I don't think parking in front of the White House is going to get anybody anywhere. Lady at Universal Enroll told me you probably weren't going to get approved for my hazmat to save your money. Really? What the? Oh, you're probably not going to get approved. Forget that. Say, look, do it. Plus, companies should pay you back. Check your company. A lot of companies pay back for that. Mine does, and probably 70, 80% of the companies I call pay the hazmat. So I would say maybe they'll pay it for you. ELDs will fix the BS in time. Yes, Amanda, if people would just run legal, run totally legal, Totally legal. You'll get a pay raise and you won't have the problems that you have. Working extra is not the solution. Working 90 hours a week is not how you make money. Thanks, David. You as well. I appreciate it. Yeah. So Kim, look, if if you don't make enough money to live, it's not worth working there, especially to be gone. Honestly, a driver that's gone should make $1,500 a week at least if you're gone from your house the whole week. Certainly. You have a $600 car note. Whoo, nice car. $300 for car insurance. Holy moly. $200 to rent. Boy, so the rent's cheap and the car's super nice. Man, $300 for car insurance. That's crazy. That's crazy. I just can't imagine it. State law only gives you tickets, not help. Feds run everything. Break a federal rule and tell me how it works out. Yes, exactly. Buck, right? We're going to announce that next week, but they are not going to be at the truck show. That's disappointing. But you were the one who knew about the exhaust pipe getting hot. Yeah, don't touch the exhaust, please. All the regulations in the trucking industry are making it not good, and Washington doesn't realize it. They realize it. They don't care, right? Because lobbies like the ATA and all this, pay more money than we pay to Washington. So they get whatever they want. The thing is, run legal. Let the load sit somewhere. Is it going to cost you something for a week or two? Yeah, it is. But overall, you're going to get a raise because there's going to be a huge need for drivers. Currently, many drivers do more than one driver's worth of work. So stop doing that. Only do your work. As soon as your time is up, tell them, I don't know, I'm 10 minutes away. I guess you're going to have to send somebody over here to get the load and deliver it. That's the solution. Kenneth, what do I think about Western Express? Yeah, I did a video about them last year, which you can go look up. They're a crap company of the week from last year. I froze. Yeah, Josh, sometimes it freezes here. I have the router right here, and that's the best I can do at the moment. I do apologize for the technology here. Should you repower the load before a company cheats you 25 miles? They only pay zip to zip. Well, they probably won't. They probably won't do it that way. And I would say a zip to zip company, it's time to quit, which nearly rhymes. And I'm going to take that as a rhyme. That's good enough for me. But zip to zip, right? That's the old way of paying. Forget it. Your 2000 Durango runs you $80 a month. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm just saying, you may live in a high area that has a lot of cars stolen or something for some reason, but that's a lot of money for insurance. I mean, that's a lot of money for insurance. Livestock haulers should run ELD, but run teams. Most people don't want to run teams, certainly. And I'm surprised that more of them don't run teams, considering all they gripe about is, these livestock are going to die or whatever. Well, then I'm surprised they don't run teams. Oh, $300 for 6 months. Oh, all right, Hershey. I was thinking a month, right? Okay, so that's better. That's better. So the recap is New York State cannot enforce the electronic log mandate. Okay, they can look at your ELD to see if you're complying with the hours of service. They cannot transfer data from your electronic log to them, and they cannot write you up for not having an electronic log. You can give them a paper log, and they currently need to accept it. Okay, Blue Lion. Yeah, I think so. The zip to zip is enough because you're going to get hosed out of a lot of miles, and many, many companies are not paying that anymore. I've owned a BMW, broke your wallet. Yeah, I mean, you're rolling like in style though, right? Our truck's plastic because they're lighter and they get better fuel mileage, and it's cheaper, right? Let's be honest about it. Livestock haulers are the last outlaws on the road. I guess so. If the stinky trailer's your deal, I mean, you could do it. Yeah, Josh, what kind of BMW is this? Some kind of 8 Series from maybe that's the problem. Sure, slip the new tire in the rim, easy by spraying hairspray and light it. Yeah, I've had people light them up with butane and get it on the bead on the side of the road. Most amazing thing, right? What if every state goes that way? Well, because New York State didn't adopt the laws into their state law, that's why they're not allowed to enforce it. Other states have adopted the laws, so they're not going to these other states are not going to have the same problem. Why drive a house? Amigo. Well, we're thinking maybe this is 6 months of insurance now. That might be better. Per diem helps the companies make more money, and you lose money in your retirement since your gross pay is less. I totally agree. You lose out of retirement. You lose out on a match because it's a portion of your income. You lose out if you're injured, which many drivers are injured. People don't realize how much of a problem it is in the industry because your workman's comp and all that is based on your income. Your income is your taxable income. So you cut that way down. Unemployment, if something should happen there and you get unemployment, it's based on your income. It's all against you. And especially when companies take 1, 2, 3 cents a mile as some kind of administrative fee to give you per diem. And then, so you're going to lose out also on your pay. It isn't worth it. It seems like you're getting more. You're actually getting less. More is less. You got bad second-degree burns on stacks from an old Pete? Yeah, let's stay away from the stacks. Now the good thing, the stack comes out underneath. Your stack is not a stack. Mine comes out underneath the truck. Got a $1 an hour raise. That's awesome. Yeah, January, who's getting a raise? Everybody out getting a raise out there? Not me, by the way. They need to go back to making trucks the way they used to. They're too heavy. And then the doors, my Mac had the door half rusted out on it. You beat on your truck to see if it was plastic, you put a hole in the side. Yeah, be careful about that. Your hand might go right through the flimsy doors and stuff. Carb cleaner or starting fluid. Oh, that's interesting. To pop it back on there. The guy, I remember that was many years ago. He's like, stand back. He throws a match over there and kablamo. And then the tire seated. He goes, there you go. We'll fill it up for you. How do you shut down ATA and OOIDA? Well, I don't know if we want to shut down OOIDA. You shut down the ATA by, following the law. Really hose that place because it's mostly these large companies that belong to it. It's your first car, so high insurance rates. Plus, it's a pickup and you're 23. All right, is that a month or every 6 months? Josh got a better rate. Yeah, it's worth calling, but tell me that's not $300 a month. Yeah, GSXR. Let's keep OOIDA and disband the ATA. Cruising with Jay got a raise. Everybody's getting all this money out there. I heard OOIDA gets stomped in court. A lot of times they lose cases. Sometimes they lose. But they can't even bring these kind of cases if there aren't members to OOIDA and all these organizations. It's the largest organization right now that's fighting the ATA, certainly. Even though it's mainly for owner-operators. They could say what they want. It's for all drivers. A lot of the things they do, a lot of their benefits are for owner-operators. 8-inch straight pipes with a 9-degree elbow. Wow. Holy moly. You're one of the people, they put the signs up in town, no Jake brakes. Do all the 3,500 trucks that you see hauling on the roads are bound to use the ELD? If they have a DOT number, they have to run electronic log. The trophy looks like a pile of crap. Literally, Mr. Omaha. They got a strikeout. Black smoke matters. Are you hear anything about that? Yeah, black smoke matters is going to have supposed to take some time off in April. I probably, to go who knows what those guys are going to do. That's not the solution. Even if everybody took the day off, then what comes of it? Let's say it works and everybody takes a day off. We all agree and everybody parks for whatever days they wanted, 2 days. I don't remember what it was. Then what? And the government goes, all right, who talks for them? And what do you want? Because what you need at your place is different than what I need at my place and what everybody needs. So the government can't solve that. You go, all right, I don't make enough money where I work. The government can't go to a company and say, hey, pay these people a dime more. It's not how it works in the United States. In these other countries where you see the drivers striking, everything is controlled by the government more than it's here. If you don't get paid enough, the government can't change that. Only you can change that. If you sit for hours, you go, well, I sit a lot and I don't get paid. Well, the government can't do anything about that. They go, well, why don't you work somewhere else, would be what the government said. There's nothing they can do for most people. So what do you think the government can do? That's the interesting thing. Say it strikes. What do you want the government to do for you? Hello from Europe. Where are you in Europe over there, man? You started at 38 cents 6 months ago. Now you're 47 cents with Jay. Yeah, that's really good. So you're up 9 cents in 6 months. That's great. You're starting to make some money. Now you're all set. Last time I asked for a raise, they told me to go get your vehicle lifted. That's good enough, I guess, right? How about autonomous drivers? Yeah, that'd be something. That's like Terminator when he looked at the gear shift pattern and could drive the truck. Anyone want to share how much they grossed last year? Not really, I guess. 25,000, right? Make sure you leave the valve in the tire. I don't know how to do the tires. Believe me, they have people that do that. I've never put a tire on a semi. If everybody shuts down, it'll be an excuse to push the automated trucks. They're a long time coming. I got to take a picture of this. Friday night, I'm driving. I hit a bump, and the lane keep thing, which is in the top of the windshield of this Cascadia, which is an 18, okay, fell off. It popped right off the windshield. And so then the lane keep thing, the alarm is going off. It's hanging by a wire, bouncing on the glass. I had to pull over because I thought it was going to break the windshield and literally cut the wire so it would come off of there. And now I have it in the cabinet. So if this truck was driving itself, then what? It would have had to stop in the lane. It couldn't see the lanes anymore. Just ridiculous. I'm not taking it in to get it fixed out of service time. When it goes in for its next service, they could fix it. But I thought, oh, I'm glad this thing isn't driving itself around. So just crazy. The ELD is going to backfire on the industry, not the driver. You should be paid by the hour. Correct. And I posted, like I said earlier, on my Facebook page, a company, JAT, they're in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I posted an ad. They're paying over-the-road drivers by the hour, plus overtime, 25 an hour plus overtime. So it's coming. It's coming. But you're going to have to follow the electronic log to make it happen. If you cheat, work all this time free and that, why should they pay you? That's what I ask people. If you'll sit for free and then you do it again next week and again next week and for years and years, why should they pay you? Think about that. If you'll do it, if they can actually get somebody to work for nothing, why should they ever pay you? People are their own problem half the time on some of this stuff. Joshua's got a training with you for the week. Well, I hope it goes good and that you're up, certainly. You take every load they gave you, but you would get your raise anyway, I assume. Merch, I am home every day now. Jimmy, 87 take home. That's super sweet. That's bar none money right there. Anthony grossed 155 large. That's pretty good. 1 month of your year is up at Stevens. Will you stay there, though? Are you going to stay at Stevens, or are you going to leave Stevens and go somewhere else? Jimmy gets no benefits. Well, that isn't any good. Benefits are worth money. I mean, they're worth real money to people. Swift, you just cleaned out your truck 2 days ago. Yikes. They required you to run illegal a few days ago. What do you mean if you'd like to expound on that? How about that? Where's Wild Bill for that word for the day? Ultimately, automated trucks will not work. Look, it's decades off. I think what they'll do, kind of like UPS and all these do on the toll roads, running triples. They have it right off the road where they can park them. They'll hook a truck up that's going across the country, and it'll drive itself on the highway only, and then there'll be a place for it to pull off. That's the most it's going to do, at least in my lifetime, that I'll even ever see. So being in my extreme upper 30s, you know, I got another 50 years to go, and I don't even think at that point there'll be a lot of them on the road. Happy New Year to you and to everyone, Todd. Thank you for that. Yeah, Landstar, pick and choose your freight with a non-regen truck. Good. As long as you are have your authority or at a place where you get to choose your freight. You don't want to be dispatched if you own the truck, because that can be a real problem. You need to at least be able to pick your own freight. Big timers are in here. Yeah, who all's in? There's big timers in here. Nice. Cruising, yeah, you would have got the raise anyway, but you're employed. They hire me to do the job, so you do it. Look, I agree. Right, you should pretty much, if you're a company driver, some require it, but, you know, take most of the freight. Did I get my Swift Diamond Driver Award signed? No, there's a t-shirt. I have a t-shirt for Swift Diamond Driver. It's Covenant. Well, SRT and Covenant, all them, yeah, they're no good. I wouldn't go there. Is KLLM a good company? No. You'll be in the passenger seat the whole time. until it makes your clinch. You probably already have that started, certainly. You're 29 plus shipping. Yes, that's really good. Oh, you leaving Stevens for Martin. That's interesting. They're kind of competitors in the industry as well. I think Martin has a better plan than what I know of Stevens anyway. You made more money with your W900 than you do with a Cascadia. It seems like you would get better mileage in a Cascadia if it's set up correctly. Part of that, is setting up the truck right. If 411's right, you're still not going to get 9 miles a gallon. So you had 3.5 hours remaining on your clock. Required you to drive from Atlanta to Knoxville, which is 4 hours. Drive through 5 o'clock. Can't be done, and they know it. Yeah, I guess we saw I'm parking at the end of the thing, What would they say if you went over your hours? They'd probably write you up for it. Truck drivers in Brazil went on strike. Every truck stopped for 2 weeks. People had no food, right? They had a huge reduction in the price of diesel. Okay, well, that wouldn't happen, other than there's not any demand for it here. And their demands were met. What is everyone's demand? That's the thing. What are your demands? So what would you want the government to do if you stop, because it's going to be the government that you're talking about? What do you want them to do for you? I think that's an interesting question when people talk about shutting down. What do you want the government to do for you? You sat for 55 hours and got $100. Oh, you waited 2 days, sat this weekend for 35 hours and said he would try to get you a day. Yeah, forget it. They should have, I like a salary. Okay, I really like a salary because when you sit like that, you're going to get paid. Newsbomb is always the example I do for that. It's $250 a day salary minimum. So, I guess I would call it a guarantee. So if you set those 2 days there, you would have gotten $500 because they pay $250 a day as long as you are available. That's the difference between getting a guarantee and not getting a guarantee. You called KLLM, but the guy seemed turned off because you got your experience in the oil field. Yeah, KLLM is a company that mainly takes students. So when an experienced driver calls them, they're not that interested. So if you get experience, any kind of experience, they're like, I don't know. That's how that is at those kind of places. Why is it illegal for a trucking company to hold a driver's history when all they do is badmouth you with it? It needs stopping. Yes. What about the bad plan or something? I agree that this DAC thing, if that's what we're talking about, right? That's what I'm thinking here. It needs to end. There needs to be a way. If anybody that puts anything on it, it should immediately be sent to you. A copy should be sent to you, and you should have an X amount of time to dispute it, and there should be some kind of hearing. They just can write whatever they want on there. If you're a flatbedder, check out PGT. The rates are good. Jason is saying, if I choose to go owner-operator, what's the minimum that you should charge? Enough to make a living, because you can't really say a certain rate at an owner-operator other than when I see these places that are paying $1. Like, that's ridiculous. But it depends what your expenses are in your truck. There's a huge difference between somebody that owns a truck and then somebody that's making, $1,000 a week payment. So that's all an expense versus, profit ratio. No ELD, better pay. Okay, so better pay, the government doesn't, do anything about your pay. So they could stop the ELD mandate, I agree. But if you ask the government for better pay, they can't make you get better pay. That's not how it works in the United States. They don't get to dictate your pay to a company. So that's not going to get anywhere. See, that's the problem. Nothing happens. They go, sorry, it's America. We can't dictate your pay. Is Swift good? I wouldn't say it's great. You want hourly pay for company drivers? I've said that many times. Drivers should get paid by the hour with overtime. JAT is one of the first companies that I've seen actually paying it. $25 an hour plus overtime. They just had an ad, which I posted on my Facebook page, Trucking Answers. I posted it, I think just yesterday I posted it up there. Mega companies use autonomous means to ship. It's called rail. Yeah, there's still somebody in the engine. Look how many trucks are piggybacked. Yes. One train will take 235 jobs. Let them try to deliver that stuff to 7-Eleven. Slurpee mix. An ambulance showed up and you see a guy laying on the ground in a truck parking area. That's no good. New York says, well, don't worry about it. We'll make sure you got my 40% cut. Yeah, they're still going to get their tax money. And don't forget, everybody, did you get your IFTA stickers owner-operators and company drivers, you should have your new sticker on or an exemption form that gives you so many days to put it on, which some companies get. So if you don't have it on your truck or that, get one of the two. It's due. The real Robert Rice, it is not possible. You only if you use that service for a client, but not for yourself. An entertainment expense has to be for a client when it's a business purpose. How about that? Let's start our own version of DAC for fleet managers. People have asked me to do that, and I wish somebody would compile shippers, manage DOT officers, that kind of thing. I think it could go over good. Yeah, keep your receipt. Oh, exactly. Always get a receipt from any entertainment that you hire. Still learning the industry. Yeah, you got to figure out what are your expenses. So $1.40 may look good to somebody, and to you may be like, wow, I'm only going to make 10 cents. It's a huge spread. It all depends on what your expenses are, because you're running a business. Remember that when you're an owner-operator, you're not just a driver, you're running a business. What are you going to pay yourself? You know, what are you going to do with all this stuff? How much is insurance, like health insurance? There's nothing wrong with the ELD. Folks are fighting the wrong fight. I totally agree. I like it. I don't have any problem with it. You should run legal. It didn't change the law, right? The law is still the same. Why haven't I ever done owner-operator? I don't think owner-operators make any more money than a good company driver at the end of the year. That's number one. Number two, I don't want the risk involved in it, because if freight goes down, you eat that. I don't. And your truck breaks down, I don't want that risk. So it's just not something that I'd be interested in. But you'd have to make a really good rate and have your own authority to make more than a good company driver. There are companies hiring company drivers for 100 grand plus benefits. It's tough to do that as an owner-operator at the end of the year, buying all your benefits as well. People forget about benefits. Like, I get 5 weeks of vacation, okay? That, you'd have to take 5 weeks off as an owner-operator, pay all your expenses, and pay yourself just to equal me just on that. So I don't think that the end of the year, too many of them come out ahead. Some do with their own authority, but really hardly any lease driver makes any better than a good company driver. There's just not any money in it. For all the risk you're taking, you should double or triple what I make, and they don't. FedEx isn't bad. Pay could be more, but that's every company. You know, FedEx has done pretty good. A person wrote to me about their local jobs. Day cab, it was paying overtime past 8 hours a day. So I thought that worked out really good, making $1,400, $1,500 a week, you know, running home every day. And the road jobs for FedEx, as long as you're working for them direct, pay really good. 75, 80 cents, not bad. You had to get to the shop to put an IFTA sticker on this weekend. Yeah, you wouldn't leave without them. You need your IFTA on or an exemption that says you have so many days. A lot of companies get them. I've seen them all over the country from companies that says we have X days, 30, 60 days or whatever to get our new stickers. So be sure that you have them, or ask your company to get them. Where are they? Can I go get one? Am I ready for the economic collapse? I don't see that happening. It's super busy out there, but I'm never worried about it, not worried about the collapse at all. The more people talk about it, the more they want it to happen. Not going to happen. No problems. Martin, first time on the live show. Thank you. And content, I try to put out, 4 to 5 a week. Hopefully all good. I appreciate you being here. I'm here every Monday at 1. Who's $25 an hour over the road again? That was JAT of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Company, and I did post a link to it on my Facebook page. So, because they were running an ad. So, 25 an hour plus overtime over the road. Not bad. John is in Florida where it's 88 degrees. Don't get with the companies that do lease purchase. No way would I lease purchase a truck. You're just renting your job without benefits. No way. Government should mandate labor like me, any other career. First demand. Be kind. I appreciate that. I just rolled over Lookout Pass with no chains and super singles. Yeah, what's it doing there, though, today? That's the question. Is it sunny and dry? Owner-operators tend to forget they pay themselves first and account for their own wages when doing their expenses. Yeah, they don't remember that they need to pay themselves something. JAT does not have it on their website. Okay, I have the link on my Facebook page, Trucking Answers. I posted it within the last day. There's a link to it on there. Because I was surprised, that's why I posted it on there. And for people that didn't know, I have a Facebook page. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as well, Trucking Answers. Check me out over there. I write a blog on Trucking Answers Nation, and I have a microphone and stuff coming, and so I'm looking at starting a podcast. I talked about it before, and I think I will do it, so... what are my thoughts on Cohen system? I don't know. I've seen their little trucks, which I saw it was small in Indy. There's the guys here in Indy seem to be home every day, and they run a kind of LTL kind of thing in Indianapolis, but they seem to do different stuff around the country, so I don't know exactly about them. Cruising with Jay is going to take off. Thanks for coming in. I'm here every Monday, and everybody can write to me, mark@truckinganswersnation.com. I answer all my emails. David, Western Express lease is not good. Yeah, their company driver side isn't any good either. What's the lease pay over there? What is the truck cost and all that? I'm curious. Trucks don't have inverters. They're charging drivers $5.50 for installation. What are your thoughts about this? I think that, are they charging company drivers for putting that on there? I love it. Is that true? Is that what you're saying, or is it owner-operators? And I figured at England, the trucks would stay warm with 3 people in per truck. You all can just stay warm in there. But seriously, are you talking about company drivers? JT does not have it right. Don't lease a house or a car. Truck lease is a leash. Yeah, that depends on the car and stuff, but certainly the truck, no way. You're just renting a job. 2 weeks from your CDL, 2 weeks out from it. Oh, where are you going to go? Do you know where you're going yet? You were sleeping most of the time, so you watched the uploaded live. Well, I didn't know anybody watched them afterwards, but I appreciate it anyway. Thank you. Okay, Comfortable Man. That link, I put that on my Facebook page at Trucking Answers, which I have a Facebook page, believe it or not. And so I have a link to it over there. And it said 25 an hour plus OT over the road. Pretty good. Now, I don't know what their hiring area is or whatever. A lot of times on Facebook, I'll just see an ad for a job and I post it on there in case someone's in the area and they can see it, that kind of thing, so, but I linked it right up there. Blue Lion is saying company drivers. Well, as long as they tell you up front, then you got to decide, is this a place I want to work that is going to charge me for something that they should put on the truck? $5.50. Do you get to take it with you when you leave? That's an interesting question. And when you change trucks, will they put it on the next truck? That's another question. Thomas is going to be the outside spoon. Hey, you could switch off because there's 3 of you in the trucks. You like Martin? They have a terminal close to your home in Tampa. They should do a lot of Florida. Certainly, that should be a job that people always ask me from Florida. I think Martin would be able to get you out of Florida. Oh, you don't have Facebook. What? Comfortable Man, you don't have Facebook? What? I thought everybody had Facebook. Well, it's on there. It's on there. Have I been painting anything? I don't do any kind of painting other than stick figures. What do we think of Schneider? I thought Schneider was okay. I think that they have a lot of opportunities. What I've said to people, that depending where you are, there's another job there that's completely different. So you don't really have to quit. You can go to totally something different than what you were doing. CFI is giving you a chance to get your CDL. Can't deny the chance. Any thoughts at CFI? Well, I had an opportunity. I guess I'll say this here since they wrote back to me. I had an opportunity to talk to a CFI recruiter, and I emailed them, some kind of outreach coordinator, and they're like, "Oh, well, we'd love to be on your channel." I said, "All right, I'm going to send you a bunch of questions, and so then I'll get the answers, and I can put the information out for people. I put it out there for everybody." And I sent them questions, and then they wrote back and said, "Oh, no, thank you. We don't want to answer your questions, and have a nice day." So I said, look, I wrote back, I said, look, these are questions that people should ask, like, what does it pay? And what is your layover policy? And like on their website, they show bonuses. You can earn bonuses. I said, it's okay. So one of the questions, How do drivers earn the bonuses at your company? And what is your detention policy? You know, just random stuff. What's your average length of haul? Stuff that everybody should ask. How often are drivers home? I have probably 30 questions that I ask most companies when I'm calling them. And I said, would you reconsider this? This is what people want to know. They wrote back and said, no, we're not going to answer your questions. Have a nice day. So what do I think of CFI? I think a company that won't answer your questions after they say they'll answer your questions is no good. See, they don't get questions from an experienced driver. They just get questions like, how is it to work there? What's the family atmosphere? So I'm not a fan anymore of the place. Not that I ever was, but when they don't answer your questions, now I have to go around and find these answers to post a video because they're going to get their video anyway. Not that they're not going to get it. They just won't answer my questions, which I think is ridiculous. I didn't ask anything that anybody shouldn't ask. How much does insurance cost? Stuff like that. They don't want to answer. It's just crazy. Do I have any thoughts on John Christner Trucking? No way. They're being sued by almost everybody in the whole world. Forget that place. Lookout Pass is horrible right now. Oh, mandatory chains until an hour ago. So you made it without chains after that. Well, you should come over here where it's 52 degrees now in Lafayette. Get your CDL by any means. Collections barely impact your credit score. Yeah, they do fall off after 7. Maverick cars out of San Antonio? Probably. I would say that would be a good place to check down there. Millis hires out of Texas as well. Okay, so westbound 95 is still chained up on Overlook. Nice. Considering Schneider hazmat tanker, living in the Southwest. Will Schneider hire out of the Southwest for that? I don't know how many tanker things there are. On the Southwest, I'd look into Out West Express. Out West Express. Not sure if you want to mess around with flatbeds. It can be a mind challenge. What's right? Idiots, maybe. FedEx has different branches, ground and freight. FedEx Ground are owner-operators who have drivers. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, only because most of them seem to advertise 1099. Not all mentioned is offered. Yes. So I would never 1099. That you're being illegally misclassified. So that's a no-go for me as well. But the ground, where they're paying hourly, or the freight, FedEx Freight, where it's hourly, totally was pretty good. What he showed me looked really good. CFI sounds like Stevens. Apply first, and they will tell you. Yeah, it's that's correct. Well, that's what they said on the phone. But this place, we had an email conversation going, and they were all about being on it. And then I send a bunch of questions, and they're like, oh crap, this guy has actual questions we're going to have to answer. And so then they're like, no, we don't want any part of it. And I asked them to reconsider, and they're like, no, we're not answering your questions. It's really amazing to me that they won't answer a question like, what does it pay, which is not listed on their website. And they don't want to answer about their layover, which is on their website, which says after 2 days, you get $75. When I saw that, I knew this place was not going to be great. So that's not good. But the other things like pay and that, they're not listed. And I don't think that's an out-of-line question like, how much does it pay? Or what does the insurance cost? People want to know that. I asked, what is your policy on taking people with felonies? Do you have a pet policy? Things that people want to know. And they were not interested in answering my questions. A driver who asks many questions, he cannot be manipulated. No good. Yeah, they only want new people. That's what I got out of that. They just want to talk about how great it is to work there, and they sing Kumbaya every morning at 9 and stuff like that. They don't want any part of it. Not Wild West. No, not Wild West Express. Out West Express. Out West Express out of the El Paso area. Maverick this morning flatbed. Yeah, they have reefers, which still starts really good. I sent the video. Oh, you sent the video on 3 people. Nice. It's really something. And I emailed that guy, and he answered some questions, and it's just crazy. I did post that in my blog too. So people that want to see that, there's a video about the England truck that has 3 people in the truck, 3 beds. And so I posted it on my blog. Go over to the blog a few days ago. It's linked up on there. You can watch the video, right? It's really something. They took out storage and added a bunk. How could that? That's not going to be a great Taco Tuesday. That's what I'm saying. Frey Miller might be worth looking to. Frey Miller hires out of Arizona. Yeah, you know, I've recommended that to another person, Frey Miller. Check out TNI out of Earth City. Oh, that sounds very green. No holiday pay. That's awesome. Pays $10 after 2 hours. Oh, that's pretty good. Dropping it. That was the same with CFI, by the way. $60 for working the holidays. Pay starts at 38 cents. That's not the lowest I've seen. 43 cents after a year. No layover paid. Awesome. I don't know. See, the only reason companies get away with it is because people tolerate it. 14-hour clock ruined the industry. It's not about safety. How many hours do you want to work every day, Buck? That's my question. Is that not enough hours to work every day? That's more than half of the day. Yeah, post the questions. Well, I'm going to find out the answers to these questions. Some were on their website, and I knew what they had to say, like holiday. You get $60 for working like 5 of the different holidays. So I knew it wasn't going to be great. But I don't think asking somebody what they pay when they say they're going to answer my questions is unreasonable. If I was gifted a truck, would I get my own authority or lease it to a company? I'd sell it. I'd sell the truck and remain a company driver. That's an honest answer. But if you have those two, the only way to do it is your own authority. Leasing it on is not going to be great. With your own authority, you keep more of the money. Sadly, the ELD is like a seatbelt. No one likes them, but they were there to keep you safer. Everybody wears their seatbelt, though. If they will not answer your questions, they will fraud you. I wouldn't consider it fraud. They just don't want to answer my questions. I think that any place that won't answer you, no way would I ever go there. Let's be honest about it. And they said, we're going to keep, how did they suggest it? Like, we're going to put your videos on our watch list or something. And I didn't know if that was some kind of threat or if they're like super fans. We're going to put your videos, your channel, I think they said, on our watch list. So they're probably watching for themselves now, I'm sure. And so I told them, you're going to watch your video on. So you got to put that list of questions on your website so drivers can know yeah, I actually thought about that, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to copy that list of questions and more and have a page of these questions. That will be up this week. That is a good idea. Name of the Facebook page, Trucking Answers. Everywhere on social media, Trucking Answers. Talk Blue Line. Look, think about that for just 2 minutes. About 3 people and Taco Tuesday. And that's coming up tomorrow for all you England drivers. So get those windows open early. West Texas, southeastern New Mexico is hiring living quarters provided. Yeah, for the oil fields, yeah. If you want to do it, you can get a place to stay and make some money. Did I see the video the poor kid couldn't drop his trailer? Yeah, that video went crazy. And I did see that. And it's ridiculous. You know, companies put people out, don't train them, and then we have this problem. And it makes people that don't drive look at that and go, oh, see, drivers are stupid. So, I mean, it doesn't help the whole industry. Then they go, I wonder why we can't get drivers. Well, there you go. Mr. Gomez, all right, they're giving 100 hours a week, but it's all overtime past 40, right? You don't know why people would want to fool with a paper log. ELD is a no-brainer. Yes, if you're going to run legal, you might as well run an electronic log. It's so much easier. You go in, sign in, and you're done. You didn't know England hired the 3 Stooges. Yeah, they did. You can get 3 in a truck there now. Apparently, it's not required. I wrote to the guy that did that video. It's not required, but it's strongly recommended for the trainers. And all he talked about with me is how much money he makes. Oh, I make all this money. I get all this money. It's just not one point did he ever say, I get to change people's lives. I'm training more people. I can change more lives. It wasn't anything about them. It's all about him and the money he can make. And that's the wrong reason to train people. You're not cutting your beard till Colts win the Super Bowl. I don't know that much about sports, but I think you're going to look like Santa Claus, probably. I think, but I don't know. Am I right on that? If you rode the short bus to school, Stevens might be a good option. You know, Stevens has been okay for some people that have written to me as a place to start out. The pay wasn't too terrible. To drivers that are there that are writing to me and talking about it. My problem with them is they wouldn't answer my questions. So if I call a recruiter and then I say, what does it pay? And they go, we're not going to tell you. That's a real problem. Why should I apply to a place that I don't know what you're going to tell me? 10 hours drive, 8-hour break was fine. Oh, the old days, right. Your company paid you an extra week of vacation when you were off sick for a week. That's really good. To give you extra money. You know, there's places that are sitting drivers at work that don't pay them anything. Then that's the difference. So if you're sitting, you got to look for a place that will pay you. ELD is great. If you have to run 2 logbooks to make a living, there's something wrong. You need to make more, not work more. 14 hours should be plenty. What's so good about health insurance if you can't use it? I don't know, Todd. I mean, like, you know, we have Anthem or whatever where everybody takes it. You know, and we've been going to the same place for years. So that's something else you'd have to look into at a company. What if that's something that you want? What kind of insurance do you have, and where are the doctors? So to see if there are doctors in your area. ELD is the way to go. You get extra time making corrections on the quadrant. You can correct it. Ours you can correct in a limited fashion. Yes. Can't drop their trailer video. Anyone have a link? I don't have a link to it, but it's super popular. Just type YouTube, search it. It'll probably be one of the first ones to come up. No consecutive clock. Right. That's correct. How long does it take to get your beard to grow? This is a full beard, but I've been growing a beard since I was probably 21. So I just don't shave much. Watch out. Some companies out there might want to take me to court. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just giving my opinion, which is totally legal. Everyone's allowed to do that. So a company that doesn't want to talk to me, my opinion is you shouldn't work there. That's my opinion. People can still work there. I'm not saying anything, you know, they're doing anything illegal. They don't have to talk to me if they don't want to. That's fine. But that's totally legal. They could come out and do a video about me and say, hey, nobody should watch Mark. That's their opinion. So as long as you give your opinion or a fact, like I call them and they tell me what they pay, or I bring it off their website, like there at CFI that says $75 after 48 hours, that's what they post on their own website. That's certainly not illegal. And always giving your opinion is always legal. I'm not accusing them of doing anything illegal. You know, I'm just saying that they should answer my questions. And if they don't want to, I'll get the information from somebody and put it out there either way. You were down in South Dallas watching England student drivers go around the block over and over. I wonder, what are they doing? Left turns, testing, left turn training? Am I going to watch Alabama and Clemson? I don't even know what that is, so probably not. That's some kind of sporting thing, right? So I'm not that much into sports. When that England truck went around the corner, was it a different driver each time because there's so many in there? It's like a clown car of people coming out, as somebody said last week. The doors open and the drivers just keep popping out of there. I don't understand it. 3 to a truck? I mean, come on. And he said he's getting, you know, 4,000 to 6,000 miles a week. So on a shorter week, there's a lot of downtime. And the thing is just all beds. They just folded down from everywhere. I assume it's legal or they wouldn't be allowed to do it. I mean, the truck is made by the manufacturer that way. So, because the truck that he had was pretty new, it comes that way. So I got to assume that, you know, there's no reason that they couldn't do it. I just think it's crazy. You don't, apparently, as a student, you don't have to take the truck either. As a trainer, you can take a single truck, or as a student, you can wait for a trainer that does not have 2 beds. But then you might wait for some period of time, but you're not required to go in that truck. Let's see, what do I think about the DPF system? I haven't had any problems in mine, but we have had problems with some of them. I drive the same truck every day, and it hasn't had a DPF problem. But we've had a couple of them in when we got these 18s in where the whole system had to be torn out and replaced. Oh, Mad Melly, right turns and left turns. So they're practicing it both ways. That's pretty good. Here, now let's go left for a while. Now let's go right for a while. Johnny, I'm going to announce that next week, but I will tell you this. They are not going to be at the truck show, disappointingly. The New York and Pennsylvania is slowed down, but they are not. Yeah, Pennsylvania didn't get in on the on the lawsuit, certainly. How the passengers secured. Each bunk had its own securement system. You'll see it if you go to my blog. I have the video linked up, and you can put in England 3-bunk truck, I think is what I searched for it, and you can see it has the netting. All the beds have netting. They're not 3 stacked. Okay, so imagine getting your sleeper. There's the stack. There's 2 beds. Well, imagine the guy on top. When you're laying there on your side, look forward. That another bed pops down where it used to go way up here. A bed pops down there, and that's you climb up and pop over, and there's a person basically above the driver compartment. That's where another bed is. So the storage in front of you over your head is gone, and that a bed folds down. There's a handle. It folded down, and you get up there in the bed, and it had all the netting and everything in it. There's several videos of it out there besides the one I linked up. So there are several people showing off their 3-bunk truck. It's really amazing. Is Werner a good company? It seems to vary what you're doing there. But it's going to be another one of these large companies. You know, so it's not going to be geared for pay. So it depends how you get in there. If you can get in through the military, you have a DD-214. They have a good program for that I'm learning about. So there's a good program to get in from the military where there's no cost to you. It just depends how you're getting in there. No diesel and diesel fuel. Yeah, it's all corn now. They quash the corn down and you burn that. Oh, nice. Buck is going to try this one. And I'm not big on the letters, so I'm going to think that's Lafayette, Indiana. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I'm right on it, but not 100%. Trucker thought it was illegal to sleep in the top bunk while moving. It is not illegal to sleep in the top bunk. The DOT people do think that. That's not correct. The DOT says you have to be secured in the bunk. So if you go, as long as the bunk has proper securement, you're allowed to sleep in it. And people can go look that up. 395.8, I think, is where the sleeper berth compartments are. All it says is you have to be secured. So there's no reason legally why you couldn't be up there. 2 of you couldn't be in the bunk. There's no reason legally why you couldn't be. All mega carriers are good to get experience in jump ship. It's a place to start. Certainly it is a place to start. And then you can look around for a good place after that and then stick with it. Find a place that fits your needs and then stick with it. What about going down the road? Is there a 3rd jump seat? No, you wouldn't need that. Even if there's 2 of you up front, one could be in the sleeper, right? And you're all set. Like, what's in my opinion of McLean? McLean to pay really good. And so it'd be worth making a call if you don't mind unloading the truck all the time by hand. Drive for an owner operator to get checks in your LLC and take the tax money, write it off equipment. Oh, forget that. Right? No, so if you drive for an owner operator, right, you can't get the LLC could get a check, but then they need an employee to drive the truck, which is you who needs health insurance and everything else. No, not skirting the law to try to make money. Go get a decent job where they'll pay you well. Hope they don't try going under a low bridge. Yeah, somebody actually said that in another video I saw. What about low bridges? Well, the guy that's all right. I mean, at England, if you hit a low bridge and that student gets crushed or whatever, they'd probably just send you another student. There's probably one waiting at a truck stop somewhere. Anyway, what happens when you break the jump seat? Wonder what the discipline is. Yeah, you probably get written up for something like that. DPF on a diesel is not great. Something I wouldn't say on here necessarily, but yeah, it's interesting. The mileage has gone up with it. Let's agree to that. From a group called TNI. That'd be better than England, maybe. Place I recommend for one, just getting their CDL in Illinois, Indiana. I recommend the first thing you do is call the State Department of Unemployment and see if they will pay for your truck school yourself. Some states have grants, and you don't have to be unemployed to get the grants necessarily. So that's the first place. You call them, then we'll talk about where else you should go. But the first thing you should do is see if you can go to a truck school and get it paid for by the state. Then you can go wherever you want. So call them, check them out on the website, whatever. And Tony, oh, you have your CDL. Well, Then in Chicago area, there's tons of jobs in the Chicago area. They're going to pay much better than these mega carriers. We as a whole have not been trained on ELD. It's learn as you go. Is that typical? No. When we changed them here, a couple of summers ago, I went, I don't know, to 5 or 6 different places around the Southeast here, training new drivers for several weeks, training everybody on it. So no, I think companies train you on it. I really do. That's what we did here. I got a rental car and a credit card for motels and went all over, trained hundreds of people on it. I think that it's common that people get trained. Putting 3 complete strangers together like that is insane. Yeah, putting 3 people that know each other like that is insane. I don't agree with it at all. You have a collection that's still on your credit report trying to get it off for the last 20 years. Todd, I don't know how to get collections off your credit report. Challenge it? I mean, I don't know how to get them off. I went bankrupt years ago, so I'm certainly not a good one to ask about that. A good company will train you. Yeah, I'm surprised they don't, because you're going to get a ticket and it's going to go on their record because they eat the other side of those points. So if you're low income or unemployment, Illinois will pay. So it's worth calling to see how much you make and see if you can get it done for no charge. Then you won't have any kind of cost involved in it. Are you super for wanting to leave Walmart for Mercer? Mercer's owner-operators, right? Buying your own truck. I probably wouldn't leave Walmart for that, but if you're at Walmart, what do you think? Are they asking you for your phone records yet? I know they have that policy there. Have they asked you that, or do you know anyone that's had to give up their phone records? Okay, Trucker Hershey, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Community college does an all right job for truck school or truck driver retraining. I think the best part of a community college truck school is you don't have an obligation to a certain carrier and you don't owe any money if you get it done through a grant. Even if you had to pay for it yourself, you still can choose what place you go and then have them pay you back. A lot of them have, repayment programs. So you're keeping the choice where you are as much as possible. Your company trains for $1,000 down after 12-month period, you get your $1,000 back. So free CDL. That's not bad. A lot of people don't have a grand to throw down, just to throw down. I mean, that's a lot of money. We can't all just throw $1,000 down there like that. Your plan, get community college CDL with grants, go to Maverick or another good company, get experience, then who knows? And probably Maverick, I don't know off the top of my head, will pay you back. We'll pay you back at least part of it, so much a month. Your company flew you home for Christmas. That's great. That's really good. Your truck should be waiting for you when you get back. So I think JAT out of Indiana might be a good company. I posted that video of them, not a video, a link to a job that they're running an ad for where they pay overtime plus hourly plus overtime even over the road. So I'm a fan. They're out of Fort Wayne. At least that's what the ad said here. Just tried to find the video, no luck. Man, it's out there. I'm telling you, it's out there. Go on my blog and you can see it there. If that's the 3 bunk, you're talking about the spotter guy, that video's had tons of views. It's around. Your wife and girlfriend would kick you out of the truck. That can be, a little problematic. Let's put it that way. Is asking for phone records legal? Talk about Big Brother. Yes, because they make you sign in advance that they want your phone records, then they get them if they ask for them. So yes, it's legal because you agree to it. You don't have to agree to it. They just won't hire you. So, and they say it's only, this is Walmart we're talking about. They say it's Walmart. They say it's only because in an accident we want your records, and they have some kind of limit on the amount you can talk. I think it's 6 calls, 10 minutes each per day. Some kind of ridiculous amount. And so they can get your phone records. And depending on your terminal, because I've talked to some Walmart drivers. In fact, we had one quit where I work and go to work there. They sometimes ask for your phone records. So it's something to consider. Maybe they'll never ask you for them, but I wouldn't be interested in it. That's worse than a camera. Think about it. Your phone goes with you even when you're home. At least the truck camera stays at work. But your phone's with you all the time. They'd have all your records. Who knows who you're calling? Psychiatrist? Who knows what? Chris, you're going to blow the trailer with a leaf blower? So you're the one where I see all the junk flying out of the back of the trailer? Thanks for being here anyway. We'll see you next Monday, I hope. FedEx Express Heavyweight, paid by the hour, class top out at 30, start at 19. Yikes. 10 years to top out. Man, that's really a long time. And you can't hire good drivers. Amazing. At $19 an hour, they can't get good drivers. Yeah. You paid a couple grand to learn at a private school, at 5 road tests, and still no license. Well, that isn't any good. The money's only worth it if you get your license at the end of it. Yeah. Nice, Ivona Bright. Hey, what's going on, Michael? It's good to see you here today. Bad companies like JB Hunt use drivers' records to blackmail them. Yeah, a lot of companies do that. Over-exaggerated incidences to stop you from getting a job. I know, and there's not really a good way to clear it. It's called hire right now, and there's a way to dispute it on there, but it's not that easy. They make it difficult for the drivers to dispute. It's just not great. I don't like it. It should be completely ended because it's so one-sided. You don't even know about it until you can't get a job, and then that's why. If anything, there should be an immediate way for you to dispute it. Any disputed claim should be taken off of there immediately. I mean, it should be way more on the driver's side. A company can put whatever they want on there. He came in and killed 9 people here in the office, and they put that on there. Then what? And you don't even know why you're not getting jobs. I don't like it. But who likes it? ATA. They love it. Thanks for the info on Out West. You sent them an email, and they called. Well, let me know how it goes if you go over there. I mean, they're one of the only places in El Paso that had any kind of decent pay. So they're doing way better than the companies that are within 10 miles of them, like Masilla and all these other places out there. So question them hard and, see if it works out for you. I'm glad they called right away. That's really good. You went through a CC program. Only had one bad thing is you didn't learn how to angle back or set up. No mountain or snow training. Just enough to get your license. That's how I went to truck school. That's how a lot of truck schools are. I went to an independent truck school. They didn't really train you anything except how to pass the license test because their whole goal is to get you that license, and from then it's up to you. At least you got a license out of it. Now you can do the rest of it, everything that you want to do. I should know about CPC Logistics. They require 2 years experience. Who's CPC Logistics? Can I profile them for these newbies? Well, if they require 2 years experience, that won't help for the new drivers, right? 4th of July, you pass like your ex, right, exactly. Truckers are burning rubber. Yes, the real Robert. I see what you're saying there. I'm just not saying most of it. Your whole 1 month when you started trucking at England doesn't even show up on your DAC report, but the school does. Yeah, it depends. If they don't post anything, they don't put it on there. But you still have proof you work there through nothing else, through paychecks. So you at least have that. So the school's on there. You've got paychecks. You can prove the time. Some people, though, as we know, they put on there false things, damaged equipment or whatever. It isn't true. How do you dispute that later? You can get a free copy of your hire right report, like a credit report. So you can get a free copy, but say you dispute it, and the company goes, "No, it's true." Now what? What do we do then? Maybe say it really isn't true. They just put it on there out of malice, and so you dispute it, and the company verifies it. Does it stay on there? And that's a real problem. Kiki Baylor. I've heard of other people go there. I don't have any information on them. J&J, who is that? Easy to get collections to pay your bills. Yeah, that's one way to do it. You can go bankrupt also, and then all the collections eventually disappear off of there. Mike, it's people with old dogs. Old dogs. Can't teach them new tricks, though, right? You'd love to hear some old stories. Oh, recording style trucks on the highways. Yeah, everybody's got them, right? We got all these days of driving and everything. Boy, we could get into that. That could be a whole nother channel for sure. Funny, you can get your medical record, but you can't get your driving history. I wonder if they charge each other for passing records on. Well, the DAC report, which is higher right, apparently, which I didn't know, you could get a free copy of it. you can get a free copy. Your driving history in some states, if that's what we're talking about, like Indiana, is free. So in Indiana, you can go to the BMV website. We call it a BMV here. It's a DMV in some states, and pull it anytime you want at no charge, and print it out at your house or whatever. Some states charge for it, a few bucks, $10, $12, I don't know. But it's free here in Indiana at no charge as many times as you want to look at it. So that's super interesting. I think as soon as somebody posts something on your DAC, though, you should immediately be notified so that you can dispute it, challenge it, whatever you want to do. And if you challenge it, it should disappear off of there during the challenge time. And the company can't just say, oh, well, he really damaged this. There has to be some kind of report or something. Otherwise, it gets taken off. Because that's usually what's put on there is damage. That's what I hear about the most. They shouldn't just be able to say it. There should be an accident report, a receipt where they fixed the truck, something like that. If they can't prove it, it's off. It's not fair that they just put stuff on with no proof and you can't change it. Have I looked into Riverside? No, not yet. I haven't. This week is going to be Trucking Company Bonanza. How can you see your own DAC report? Apparently, you can go get it for free at HireRight. So look up HireRight. That is the name of the company. And apparently, they're going to give you a free copy, kind of like your credit report then. I didn't know that. So check that out. So Michigan, it's $9 for an MBR, $10 in Illinois. So we got it all going on in Indiana here. I guess because they hose us so much on the license plate for your car that they figure they'll give you a free copy of your driving record because nobody really gets that as often as they do these other things. So since they hose us on the license plate and Illinois gets a cheaper plate, they'll charge you $10 for your driving record and we get a free record here in Indiana. But I know the plate here is a lot when you have a newer car. Yeah, Google HireRight is the name of the company. HireRight. That's the ones doing the DAC report. Put crap on HireRight and never worked for them. HireRight. How can JB Hunt put something on there you never worked for them? I assume that's JB Hunt. And plus, how would they have your information? Is this not connected to some Social Security? That's how I would assume it works. So, and that should be easy to dispute. I never worked there. How would they ever prove you worked there? See, that's interesting. How can you get that off? You're going to have to investigate how to get stuff off of your HireRight report. That'd make a good thing to do for people. Get your HireRight report and get stuff off of it. I don't know how they would put stuff on for you and why would they do that. It sounds like something like that would be a mistake. Like a number was transposed or put down incorrectly. That's why I encourage people at least every year to go check their driving record in case a ticket has been written and the plate is one letter off. And so then it's mistakenly put on you and you don't realize it. Maybe your plates are suspended or something, so you could check into it. So that sounds like if it's put on you, there must have been that, or maybe someone has your name and it got mixed up like that. So that would be totally a mess. There'd be no reason to do that to you if you didn't work there. They got enough problems just trying to hose the people that do work there. You went to orientation and asked you to leave. That's another thing that these places do. They should do other background checks before you show up. But because you made it to orientation, they get some government money. That's why a lot of times that happens. They bring you in and then they get paid when you show up. And so then once they boot you, they go to the government, look, we couldn't hire them, but we still want our money. So that's a lot of the reason that they do it. They say you had 20 tickets in Arizona. Yikes. See, that's a real deal. You're gonna have to correct that if it isn't true. And if it is true, you should correct it too. No one should hold judgment unless they're willing to be judged by themselves. That's why we have a court. Nothing should be able to be posted on there without some kind of proof. These kind of things, this and really your credit is not really fair. The credit is the same thing. They should have to sue you, then they could put it on there. But just to post it on there, and you go, I don't know the money, and they go, yeah, you do. And so that's the end of it. They should have to take you to court. I really agree with that. On this HireRight and a credit report, really. The credit cards, whoever it is that you're not paying, if it happens, right, they have a remedy. They can go to court. But it's free for them to just post stuff on your credit report. Taking you to court takes time. They don't like to do that. They should have to do that. Once they win in court, then they could post something. But until then, no. And it should be the same for a company. There shouldn't be some kind of way to prove that you had some kind of problem. If they can't prove it, without proof, there's nothing. I never had any tickets in Arizona. You live in Indianapolis. Is this something you're going to really have to correct? 20 tickets? You may need a lawyer to get that kind of thing off your record. Really? I mean, you may have to get an attorney to correct that kind of thing, because that's a huge problem. That is a huge problem. I'd certainly want some kind of paperwork from them saying why they're not hiring me. You were under the understanding the majority wasters are closed on Sunday. Yeah, some of them are. Well, yesterday came to Missouri and they got you for being overweight. Well, you can't. They are usually closed, but they could. It isn't a mandatory close thing. And how much over were you, and what did it cost you? Oh, so you did go get a lawyer. That's really interesting. Are you getting them off of there? What's happening with it? Virginia Truck and Pop says they're open 7 days a week in Virginia for your convenience. So you got to hold a higher right, and they fixed it, so it's completely off there. Was it easy to do? Was it, is it just a click thing on the internet? Do you have to provide proof? I don't know how you would provide proof, though. You can't prove you never got a ticket. I guess you can say that you never got a ticket, and somebody should have to prove it. Ambulance was for, oh, right, we're going back to the ambulance, was for a driver that collapsed walking back to his truck. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a real problem with drivers. I hope he makes it. They wrote you up for $3,600 overweight. You haven't paid the ticket yet because you just got it. Some companies will pay it for you, but it's still going to go on your record for points. I don't know how many points that is, if it's points at all. Probably. Not too many. And some companies will write you up for it, for running overweight, ironically. Because like here, they would say, well, we pay all the scale tickets. You can scale the truck whenever you want, and we'll pay the scale ticket. So if you get an overweight, that's your problem. Although they'll pay it for you. But I would watch that like a hawk. Even if the company says they'll pay it, make sure that they pay the ticket. An unpaid ticket can turn into a warrant. We don't want that. Did anybody hear about a fatality wreck in Gainesville, Florida? No, I haven't heard about that. There have been a few in the news with fog, but I haven't heard about that one. If a company, though, says they will pay your ticket, and then they don't, you still have to eat that. It's your ticket. So don't do that. What states have mountains in them? You're going over the road and you're fearful of them in a big rig. Don't sweat it. It's easy to say, right? You're going to have to go over them anyway. I don't consider really anything on this side of the Mississippi to be mountains, really. It's all out west. That's what I think. You know, there's some hills on this side. Don't worry about it. It's not terrible. If you get a good trainer, you'll be fine. It seems scary. A lot of things are scary. Go do things that are scary. It challenges you. Don't just sit in your comfort zone for the rest of your life. Believe me, you'll feel much better after it. What city was for the oil field work? Midland. Yeah, Midland, Odessa has tons of them. Just pop on Craigslist right now. You'll have 50 jobs in 5 minutes that have tons of them. You're only overweight because the load shifted. Yeah, you can make a phone call, though, and get it taken care of. But that can be a problem, too. Your load moves. There was just some guy on a video that got a ticket because his truck was covered with snow. So he had a legit scale ticket, and then he got covered with snow and then got an overweight ticket. I thought that was interesting. 2 truck drivers died and 5 kids. That's horrible. Oh, you're snoozing in Albuquerque? What's the weather doing over there? Oh, you're snoozing. You can't see it. Ask the guy in the top bunk or the third guy to look out the window and see. Clearly, I haven't heard Johnny Cash's song about Mount Eagle. Johnny Cash never went west of the Mississippi, I think. Well, plus that Cadillac, that 60, 61, 62, those Cadillacs, I don't think any of those were, it couldn't get over the mountains because he had to have an adapter kit. West Virginia's mountains, I don't consider those mountains. That's what I'm saying. They consider mountains, I don't. No one specific. Hey, thanks for coming in. Of course, demerits are awarded, but I do appreciate you being here anyway. Thanks for coming in here today. When you first started, you were scared, still only have 10 months, and do not fear mountains. Look, you're going to have to go over them. Don't sweat it. The side of Mississippi aren't huge. Trucks all have Jake brakes now, unlike years ago when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. It's not as hard as it seems, although it seems scary. You got it, no problem. Arizona gave you a seatbelt ticket and won't let me pay it for less. I go to court, so I had to take time off and go to court. Why would you have to go to court on a seatbelt ticket? What? How much is that? $20? I mean, how much is a seatbelt ticket, really? I'd just send it in and pay it. Unless it's a required go to court on a seatbelt, it's not even a moving violation. You're only fearful of mountains and snow because you've never experienced that. No problem. Enjoy. I'm serious, though. You're going to have to get out there, right? So just get out there and do it. Get a good trainer. You know, if you're with somebody, make sure they've been driving. Have you ever done this before? And they're like, I don't know, it can't be that hard. That's not the best person to get. So make sure you get somebody that's actually done it, you know, not somebody who's flipping through a book. Slow down, I'm still trying to find the guide on going down mountains. I don't think that's the best person to have. You're in Meta, Missouri. I wonder where that is. And it's 63 and sunny. Look, it's 52 here in Lafayette, Indiana. A year ago, it was below zero today. So this is really, really great. Don't go over the mountains with ice cream. I don't know. That wouldn't be bad. You wouldn't have to run the reefer. You feel terrible right now. Does he feel like you're going to throw up? It's time to park it and get the NyQuil and get a good night's sleep. Dope law. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I don't know if anybody's using me to inspire anybody, but I appreciate it, certainly. Seatbelt ticket is a moving violation. Where is that a moving violation? Everywhere now? Even so, how much could it be? $100? Is it worth the 100? Say it's $150. It's still not worth it unless they require you to go in for it. You got to figure, is it worth it to go in? Because if they saw you and they come to court, you're going to pay the ticket and court costs. It's cheaper to pay $150 than to take time off and travel. So you might lose $200 or $300 for a day's work. Pay it. It's just a simple math thing, really. Your company won't turn you loose until you go over, be a trainer. You should get trained on this. If your company takes you in mountains, they should train you in going over the mountains. A lot of companies don't do it. I don't understand it. Wherever they travel, you should have to go those areas with somebody that knows what they're doing so that you know what you're doing. I don't know why they would want you to crash. They just don't make any sense. Pay attention to the signs at the top and be in the right gear. Yes, exactly. When you start down, enter no sweat. Stay calm. Yeah, exactly. And if other people are passing you, don't sweat it, right? And I tell people the speed down the mountain is whatever speed the truck will hold without really using the brakes. So that if you need to get on them, they're cool and ready to go. Whatever that is, whatever gear that is, that's where I hold it and it just let it go down by itself. You've got to go to bed. Your dispatcher told me you were way behind on your beauty rest. Well, so they got the camera watching you, right? Thanks for coming in, Ryan. I appreciate you being here. Next time you get pulled over, ask for an ordinance violation and beg and plead for it. Or try not to get pulled over, certainly. Here's the question. Did you have your seatbelt on? Let's ask that question. If you tell me you're too sick to drive, they'll make you park and go see a doctor. What? Really? That's a little bit overboard, isn't it? You can't just be sick where you just need to rest for a day. Oh, go see a doctor even though you're in the middle of nowhere and don't have a car. Then they'll make you take another physical. I mean, that's just crazy. Do they not think you can get sick enough where you shouldn't really drive but don't really need to see a doctor? It's 65 in Keokuk, Iowa. That's incredible. That's sunbathing weather. I got to go find my Speedo. Where'd my Speedo go? The Appalachian Mountains are great. They got insects as big as you. Yeah, I don't know if they're bigger than Florida where they have the wash things right on the rest areas that you pull into because of all those gigantic bugs. Truck and Pop, you're on your own now. Well, but I'm just saying that people should question their trainer a little bit, you know. Coastal Carriers is a great company. 40 cents. Oh, 28 months with them and top out at 42 cents. That's really low. They may have good care and good equipment. That's really low pay to get started, really. It's 40 all the way in Oregon. That's crazy today. It's not freezing anywhere. Yeah, right. Comfortable, man. Yeah, people can pass you, whatever. Like, get out of the way. I don't care. Trying to go down a mountain without kill everybody. And Speedo, yeah, it's coming. Spring's almost here. Comfortable, man. Oh, yeah. That's what they did right after Christmas. That's ridiculous. Because you can't drive for a day, you want to be safe. The DOT actually requires you, right, legally, if you don't feel you can drive, to not drive, right, no matter what the reason is. But then to make you go to a doctor and get released, that's crazy. I guess they're covering themselves, I'm sure, for lawsuits or whatever. So I see from their side of it that way, but it just doesn't make any sense other than legally. Seatbelt, no seatbelt, must go to court. Okay, so you didn't have a seatbelt, right? Wow. So it's a must attend court for that? I guess you have no choice. Then I guess you got to go. I can't believe they make people come in on a seatbelt ticket. I mean, I just can't believe it. That they're going to clog the courts up with the seatbelt ticket, and so you show up at court and go, I didn't wear my seatbelt, and they just charge you. They should just at least let you just pay the fine and go on your way anyway if you want to pay it. It doesn't make any sense. These courts are just so stupid. If they require you to see a doctor, they should send you an Uber. They should. And I was thinking you could Uber your way over there, but they should pay for it. But I'm sure they won't. They won't pay you for the day, and they won't pay you for everything. My thoughts on Stevens. Stevens wouldn't answer my questions. So I'm not a fan of them. I know we have drivers on here right now, and drivers have written to me that worked at Stevens, and they like the company is not that bad working there. But when I call and ask them questions, and they won't answer my questions and go, well, apply and we'll answer your questions. So that's why I'm out of the place. Might it be better than that? From the drivers that are writing to me, it's not a horrible place to work. There are a lot worse places. I will tell you that, a lot worse places. But I wouldn't work there because of that. It just bothers me. If I ask a question like, what does it pay? They should answer it. It doesn't seem that complicated. If they made it hard to go back, then you'll just drive sick. Oh, yeah, that's correct, right? That's also the other side of it is, oh, well, then these people will just shut up about their little sniffles. That's what they would say in the office. You know, oh, they've just got the sniffles. When you could really be sick and really need to stop for the day. The good night's sleep and that can refresh you. So, but the other side of that is, why would they want you to drive when you're really sick? Because you're not going to be as great at it, and you might have an accident that you wouldn't have otherwise had. They're taking a big risk. They just don't care. A place like that just doesn't care. They're taking a huge risk. So on both sides, the legal side, they're taking a risk side, but they want you to drive. It doesn't make sense. I agree, though. People would say I'm sick when they just want to have the day off to do whatever. That is more incentive for you to wear it. I agree. That would make you wear your belt. You should wear your seatbelt. It's the law. So I'll follow the law. Wear your belt. Exactly. Why can't you plead guilty? I agree. Why can't you just plead that out? Why is this like speeding, 50 over the limit? Why is this a must attend ticket? It'd be worth calling the court and asking them, why can't I just send you the money? Because you show up and you just give them the money anyway. Or are they doing that just to harass people into wearing tickets so that you'll get the word out that, oh, if you get a seatbelt ticket, you got to come to court. And then more people would wear their seatbelts. Don't you love it when you show up 30 minutes early for your pickup appointment and they inform you your appointment is 3 hours later? Yes, because dispatch always gives you the earlier time so that you'll show up. They do that a lot. A lot of places do that. Oh, your appointment's at noon. We'll send them 9 o'clock, and that way they'll for sure be there. Called Stevens, and the girl was chewing gum while she was talking to me. Was she popping it too? I love that. Was talking to you about employment, not professional. I didn't think so. They don't seem to want experienced drivers there. And I could just picture her sitting there popping gum, being all disgusted that you even called. The phone rang again. I have to turn off my Justin Bieber video so I can answer the phone. See a loss. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. I'm live every Monday for people that are on and don't know it at 1 p.m. Screwed up your 8-2 split. Oh, right. You could mess up your split. Certainly. Straight up, yeah, popping. That makes it even so much better if they will chew gum and pop it at you. Did they answer your questions? Let's ask you that. If you asked questions in between gum pops, did they actually answer them for you? They won't get you there early when you're being paid by the hour. Oh, Kevin, that's very good. They wouldn't make you sit there. Now you should actually be getting paid for that time if they sent you a certain time to be there. Where's the video of the CR England trio bunk, as they call it, the 3-bunk truck? It's on YouTube, and it's also on my blog. So I write a blog at truckinganswersnation.com/blog. Very clever. And I put it out last week, so you won't have to scroll back too many days. It's in there, and I link to it there, or you can just search it out on YouTube. Either way, it is not my video. So I'm kind of repping a different video out there, but I just thought it was fascinating. And so it's only a few minutes long, too. So you can go to my blog and go back a few days or just search it out on YouTube. But it's out there. And it's not my video even. So I'm putting that out there. It's not even my video. Your best friend are planning to get your CDL together, then teaming. We narrowed it down to Prime. What are my thoughts? Prime was a crap company, but they pay is decent out of their school. I'm not a fan of it just because of the way that people are treated there. It's just too much waiting, and I think you can do better. And they really push leasing there. So, and it's another gigantic company. I'm not a fan of it. There's better. You can do better. You fearful I formally demand 30-minute live video every day. You were here on Christmas, right? I do some extra ones. I do some extras. Can a company force you to drive bad weather if you say you don't feel safe? Well, would the DOT back you up? Theoretically, right? You're not allowed to drive legally for whatever reason that you feel that something's unsafe. So the DOT would say, if you can't continue driving, you're not supposed to drive. I'm too sick. It's not safe. The truck's not legit, right? The headlights don't, whatever. So legally, you're right. You don't have to drive. And I would say this, any company that would say drive anyway, I probably wouldn't want to work at. It's probably not a great place, and I would think about leaving them because I wouldn't want you to drive. Are you in the right? Yes. Can they still fire you? They could. Would you get unemployment? Probably. You can say, I didn't feel safe. It wasn't safe. You know, it's that kind of thing. Can you legally not drive? Yes. But their company policy, which is at a lot of companies, is don't drive if you don't think it's safe. Park it. Some places pay you for this. Most don't, but I have found some that pay for this time. It's best to get a guarantee, that kind of thing, so that you get paid for all your time, including if you have to stop because it's not safe. You're getting paid, but completely screwed up my schedule for the next few days. Right, because you can't split now. At least they're paying you. A lot of places wouldn't even pay you. Some companies' insurance are liable for you if you aren't. Yes, I agree. I mean, there's two sides of it, certainly. Peterbilt 379. I'll leave that on there. Daniel missed it. It's going to be, I'll announce it to the live show here next week. But I'll tell you this, they're not going to be at the truck show. So if you're coming just for that, which I don't know if anybody was, they will not be there. Sorry, see if I didn't answer my questions, but a newbie is very happy and old timers told me to go. You've done a lot of research. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when a company won't answer questions, simple questions like, what do you pay? Because it's not on their website. I don't know what to say about that. Why? I'm really worried then. Why won't you answer how much you pay? And a question which is posted on their website, like, what's your layover policy? I already knew the answer. They wouldn't answer that. How often are your drivers home? These aren't questions like, you know, what is your home license plate, you know, on your car? Nothing like that. These are questions about a company that everybody should ask. What's your detention policy? Do you hire felons? How often can the drivers take their trucks home? You know, simple things that drivers want to know. What's your idle policy? Do the trucks have APUs? They're like, we're not answering. So get lost. So I don't know what to say. Would I work there then? No. Any company that won't answer my questions, of course I wouldn't work there. Nobody should. If you call a company, no matter who you are, and they won't answer your questions, done, right? What are you hiding? Especially if it's just a question like, what do you pay? And you don't want to answer it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. These are outreach coordinator people. This isn't somebody, that I'm asking some private questions to. These are what these people do. What I think about driving when chain laws are in effect, I say no, park it. Unless you're out in the middle of somewhere where you've got to put them on, park in advance, please. The roads are bad, right? If you don't like driving in bad weather, you only be on the road 6 months a year. Well, there's a line. I agree. You're going to have to go through some kind of snow, but if you feel it's unsafe, you should park anyway, because I don't want you to crash because you think it's unsafe. But some snow you're going to have to drive in. But then there are times when you park. I've been driving a long time. You find me parked in a, bad weather, no problem. I'm not ashamed of it. You see me in the walking around parked. Super trucker. Yeah, I have this extra noise in there, so that worked out really good. Upgraded the sound system. The companies are outsourcing recruiters. Yeah, maybe, but I will tell you that CFI, we were in an email conversation. So this is an email conversation. I have people there on their official email, at CFI email. I don't know what to say. So I know I'm talking to them directly, and then once they get questions, they're not interested. They were all interested in talking to me until they got a list of questions. Then they weren't interested anymore. Not great. Adco, I agree with Ivona. Thanks for being here, but of course, extra demerits for being an hour 51 late. If a company won't tell you the rate, then there's embarrassed or their drivers are on different rates. I agree, but look, they should tell me. Here's the thing. Here's what we pay. No matter what the pay is, that's their pay. So even if it's at 3 cents a mile, we pay 3 cents. They should be able to tell you what it is. Not, oh yeah, we want to talk to you, and then here's some questions. Get lost. What does that say? Oh, these are we don't want to answer these kind of questions. I'm not great on that kind of stuff. Ever shift a Branny trans? I'm not sure what that might be. That might be something for a different channel that might have an age restriction on it. Really. That's what I'm thinking after seeing it. So not sure about that. So see if after they're watching, because they said they would keep me, they're going to watch my videos or whatever. I'd still love to hear the answers to your questions. I'm going to find them out. Now I'm going to find the answers out and, put it out there. But I'd rather have the answers from them. There's really no reason not to answer a question like, what do you pay? Drivers want to know that. Can the driver take a pet with them? People would like to know that. What's your policy on hiring felons? I get a lot of questions about that. So, I said, what is experienced driver pay and what is student driver pay? Not interested. So it's some kind of secret there. Oh, I ask about, do you have what's the contract for new drivers? Is it a year or 8 months? What is it? Is it prorated? What's the proration on it? Do you have a non-compete clause? All these things that people are going to find out anyway. Not interested. I probably had 30 questions then. They're like, nope. Even on reconsideration, nope. So they're just out. They just won't do it. And basically they're going to watch my channel. So presumably they're watching this. So they could pop in right now and answer questions for people if they want to. I'll call Russell Transport, no shame. Where are they from and do they hire, are they hiring? Some places are not hiring. A twin stick. I had a twin stick years ago in a Mack, in a dump truck of all things. And I've seen triple sticks. I've never done that. I've done a twin stick Mack dump truck. They are owned by XPO. Yeah, but that doesn't give them a pass to not answer questions, certainly. They should be answering my questions when I give them questions. And that's for anybody, not just me. They knew that I had this channel. That's why they were talking to me. But it shouldn't matter this or anything else. They should give you the answers to the questions. They're in El Paso. El Paso is a sinkhole of garbage companies. Other than Out West Express out there, nobody seems to be paying anything for some reason in the El Paso area. Out West is the only one out there that has any kind of pay that I've found. They're a dime more than everybody else in the area. It doesn't make any sense. So Russell, if they're down there, my hopes are not really high for Russell Transport. But I could be changed, you know, like I was for Out West Express, which I was pleasantly surprised. And as I say about Out West, they have different terminals around the country. They're certainly worth calling. That's not the only place they have a spot. So depending where you live, they're worth looking into. Delivery this morning, you had to be there between 7 and 8. All right. Got there at 7:20 on time. Did not get out of there till 9:30. That's the BS of the industry. The only BS of the industry is you should get paid for it. How about that? So the industry wouldn't be a problem if you got paid for it. Did you get paid for 2 hours and 20 minutes? That's the question. 2 hours and 10 minutes. It's due to the illegal aliens being used for labor. That's why they pay. Well, how do they hire an illegal, as you're saying, to drive a semi? How do they get past all the requirements and everything? You know, federal, DOT, CDL, all these other letters. How would they get past all that? Snow in the mountains in Albuquerque, but it's 55 in the valley. All right, so we need to get down quick. So it's colder there than here. It's 52 here in Lafayette, Indiana right now. Okay, so you can't. So how do we get around that? Right. Oh, fake or stolen identities? Yeah, that's certainly possible in any industry. Certainly possible. Kevin, my channel is great. Sacrifice my driving career. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I drive every day. I'm about to go to work here shortly as it is. So I still drive just like everybody else. I do. You must speak English to have a CDL. Yes. You have to speak English. You got all these requirements. They got to do an I-9 form. So I don't know how, I suppose they could do it, but I don't know how they would hire somebody there that's not legal. And then how does Out West then do it out there? You know, they're hiring for way more money. So they would take all the better drivers, I guess. You know, it's comfortable. Swift does it all the time. Nice. So that's not great. What drug is that for? We would drug test, I'm saying, for all your tests. They have to pass a road test. I just don't know how they get past all the federal hiring. And then they're not paying like super a lot less. You know, they're in the 30s out there, it seems like, from the places I called. So it's not like they're saying, oh, well, people are illegal, we're going to give them 20 cents. It wasn't doing that. It was just low. And the whole area seemed to be a sinkhole of low pay. And then I found the gem out there in the area to be a much better place. But it wasn't like, you know, oh, we're paying 20 cents and no benefits. It wasn't anything like that. I guess depending who applies, you're saying they may talk to somebody else like that. I'm not sure. So I don't know how that works exactly. You live in the UK. Speaking English, you don't think so? Yeah. You live in the UK. I was out there in 2000. You need an insurance number for a CDL. I never needed anything to get a CDL here. You just walk in and walk out with it. On my way tonight, not a total loss. Okay, good. Yeah, get out of that snow while you can and come over here where it's warm. What company would I recommend? It depends. A lot of it depends on you. You got to know what you want. Do you have a family? Where do you live? What kind of truck do you want to drive? Meaning a flatbed. Would you rather have a tanker? A lot of it depends on you. Do you need to be home every day? Would you like to be gone for 3 months at a time? Do you want to make maximum money or have a life at your house? So there's no one company for any one person. I've been at my place 16 years. I always say this. People come in and they'll quit 3 months. They're where'd that guy go? Oh, he quit. I think he thought it was garbage. So it just depends. It didn't work out for them, but I think it's great. So it just depends. I've seen a bunch that their English is so bad they really can't communicate. Well, there's a lot of that, and not just down. I see a lot of that in Chicago, even years ago when I was up there driving. There are a lot of people from Eastern European countries that hauled containers around, and they didn't really speak English either. How do they get a CDL? Nobody really challenges them on that when they get their license, I think. There's not really a test for it per se, not like an English test, other than doing the test. Ivona, yes, there's another late person. It's really something today. Thoughts on a slip seat? Only if you're home every day. Any truck you got to live in? No. Unless they slip seat mattresses too. So I would say no. If you're living in it daily, yeah, what's the difference, right? But home, gone for any amount of time, sleeping in it at all, no. I think you should have your own truck. Because look, that's somebody else's bed and stuff. I mean, here we go, Taco Tuesday, and we don't know what's going on in there. You're in California, the more home time, you're going to want a local company out there then, right? So in a large city, ABF, well, they'll take students and everybody. Holland, you know, a place like that would work out there that I've had out here on the show. The TriMac is out there. They'll get you home and pay good money. The more pay, the better. Yeah, that's always the case. ABF would be a union company, would pay you good. You also need an address for the CDL. The visa process takes years. Yeah, that could be a problem coming from somewhere else. How do they pass the Illinois pre-trip if they can't speak English? I don't know. I have no idea how they pass this kind of stuff. Oh, Adco said Old Dominion. Yeah, that's another good one too. Old Dominion, any LTL company in any large city, pay hourly out there. Then you'll go 55 in California too. If you got paid by the hour, you wouldn't mind it outside the large cities there. You just roll around at 55 all day and get paid. And Holland, like Ivona says, they have free health insurance. So not only the benefit of good pay like ABF and Holland, but free health insurance at those places. Well worth it to be home. You know, so if you not want to be gone, it's not worth it. Your lawyer's in Phoenix. Nice. Not cheap, but very good. Some people here might need it. Some people could use one to challenge their DAC reports. Other than Schneider, is there a company that hires new drivers for tanker and hazmat training? Yeah, there is. I just had them on. Comcar is on here. They have, because somebody wrote to me about them. CTL is their hazardous tanker division. They'll put you out at 55 cents a mile. Pretty good. TriMac will take students. They have hazardous tankers. So there are places to do it. Not Prime. Right. We don't want to think about Prime. But there are better places that would do it. Like Prime, you know, I don't know what their pay is. I doubt it's 55 cents like CTL is, which is a Comcar company. You reject leaving Yellow. You were a dock worker. Those old times there, you don't blame them, the union and the benefits. Look, the union benefits there are really good. And whatever the union charges for dues is less than you would pay for health insurance. I guarantee that is less than your health insurance would be. So when you drive out west and go pick grapes up, can you speak Spanish? How do you think we go on driving through Europe? Yeah, I mean, a lot of drivers do speak different languages. I have seen that. Indian River is coming this week in the bonanza of trucking companies. CARB doesn't enforce old trucks from Mexico. I don't see them that far up here, but I'm sure down there they do run them across the border. They never make it this far. I did see from Mexico just the last week. As I was looking at the plate, I thought, that trailer's from Mexico. That's the craziest thing I ever saw. But I guess it's being pulled up here with some kind of load. I thought, there goes somebody's job right there. You speak English, Spanish, and Japanese. Wow. I took a couple of Spanish classes, and that was enough of that for me. Never could catch that side of the brain not turned on. Would I recommend the company I'm with? Yeah, I've been here a long time. So I would, but it depends, again, on what you want. You know, it depends what you want. So I have to know about you before I can recommend a company specifically. If you're saying, what's the best company for me? When that's you, it depends on what you need. You got to decide, what do I need? Do I need health insurance or not? Do I want, you know, to be home every day? Do I want to make money? It depends. Do I want to run a tanker? What do I want to do? What do I call someone who only speaks one language? A single language person? What company is that? Well, since Wild Bill isn't here and somebody finally asked me that question, I don't say where I work because that keeps them out of my videos. I don't have them saying anything about my videos, so I don't mention them. But unlike a lot of people on YouTube, I also don't recruit for them. So I don't get a recruiting bonus, even though they have one, right? I don't get a recruiting bonus from them. And that lets me put out videos that I want to put out with my opinion. So I don't talk about them. And so I just leave them out of the videos. Oh, nice, Edco. Right. I didn't go there with it. Very good. You don't think there's a driver shortage? There's too many trucks on the road. There cannot be a driver shortage when England puts 3 people in a truck and gets tons of people to do it. There's no shortage of drivers. There's shortage of being paid. Why do people say never work for Russian companies? Because they're in Russia. I mean, no, seriously though, I don't know. You know, if a place pays good or whatever, and it doesn't matter who runs it. Not to me anyway. Oh, that's nice. Trucker Hershey got it too. I didn't catch it. I was slow on the uptake of that one today. Street scores because most of them are fronts for the mafia. Well, I don't know. Like waste management used to be talked about like that. Not that I'm saying it today, certainly. I don't want my kneecaps broken. Yeah, Ivan, we almost made it too because I'm going to have to leave here shortly. So was very close because Wild Bill normally gets to ask that, but he's not here today for some reason. He must be out doing whatever he does in his free time. So he didn't make it in today. We did almost make it though. I should actually probably put that in the description or whatever, but I don't. I just leave them out. And I don't recruit for them, which is probably one of the only people that doesn't recruit on YouTube, certainly. Because I see it all the time. Hey, here's my number. Go call this place. These roping goats. Yeah, from the live show, which he and U-Haul were on my Christmas extravaganza, it's possible. For people that were on that show, which was just the greatest thing ever. I'm grateful that everybody came on, 100 and some people for that show. That was really something. RBINAZ. Yes. Let me know about how everything goes there. And what was the school like too? We'd also like to know that. Especially how many students per instructor. People ask that kind of stuff all the time. I'm always curious about that. Here's Mark. What's up early? Sorry, you're late. I thought you were in like first off and then you take off and come back. Man, we're going to have some kind of list started for this. This is not good. This is not good. People just popping in. It's cool. You're a 3 to a truck now. Yikes. That's not great either. Not especially since tomorrow's Tuesday and we know what that means. 10 speed? Manual? So we got a manual at least? Well, I guess 3 to a truck at school isn't too. Yeah, keep me posted on CFI, and I'd really like to know why they don't want to talk to me, but, they're just not going to talk to me, I guess. Let me know if the pay, and really, the more importantly, even than the pay, is how are you being treated? Because it doesn't matter how much you make, if you could be making a lot of money. If you're treated like just a dog there, and they're just on you all the time, do this, I don't want to hear it, that's not worth it. It's not worth being at a job that you're frustrated at all day. Just not worth it. So how are you being treated? That's even more important than anything. I mean, I could probably get more money, but I stay here. I'm treated well. I don't even see dispatch. I just get in my truck and leave. I go do my job. They leave me alone to do my job in a new truck. It's getting old now. But I mean, so that kind of thing is worth something. With good benefits, it's worth it. It really is. Yeah. Yes, Jeff Fife, right. You one bed and that's it. Edward Potter on YouTube. Who the heck is that? Okay, only nice video. Oh, okay, fine. There's a few of them out there for that thing. And Adco, exactly. Pay is not everything. This is not a channel where I go, oh, you have to make the most money no matter what. I don't think so. If maybe you have a family at home. Do you want to be gone for 5 months at a time? I don't think that's a great idea. So maybe for you want to sacrifice some pay to be home. Although you can still make excellent money. Maybe you're like, I'm going to be gone, and then you could just be gone. It just depends. Go get what you want out of trucking. There's something for everybody. You can be home every day. You can be gone your whole life in trucking. There's everything in between. Totally everything in between. But if the job's frustrating every day, it's totally not worth it. Would I recommend an automatic or manual? I recommend you don't get the restriction if possible, but I have an automatic and like it, so I don't have any problems with it. They're much different than they used to be. When they first came out, which has been 10, 15 years now, they wouldn't back up good. Now they have a creep mode. It backs up like a car. So I don't have any problems with it. Even summer, winter, no problems. You can hold it. There's an M switch on it to hold it in manual. So while you're coming down a mountain, you can pick your gear, hit it in manual, it'll hold gear. I don't have any problem with it. So either way, I'm fine. I'd rather you didn't get the restriction still, but I don't think it's a big problem if you have it as it used to be. So whatever they give you, drive it. What I would rather have is a 13 speed on the road, probably. A manual 13 speed would be the best, but I'll take an automatic. They leave you alone, but your health care is no good, but you made 73 grand. Well, see, so there's a consideration. So the health care isn't any good, but you make 73. So would it be worth going somewhere that pays, say, 67, but has great health care? It depends. Do you need the health care? Like I've talked about my wife. She has the handicap thing in the car. She doesn't walk good, and, she has some health problems. So we use a lot of the health care, and it's pretty good here. So that's a consideration. Do you need it? Each one, it's your life. What do you need out of it? It's not just, oh, this pays the most. That's not all of it. But maybe if it was better, maybe that'd be a better place. Maybe you could cancel that and get healthcare on the exchange and get a better policy. It just depends. 3-liter truck, next thing, they'll be fueling up on the move. I'm surprised they don't, that these large companies don't have like a tanker that drives around the truck stops and fills up their truck specifically or whatever, so that you don't have to wait. I'm surprised they don't have 3 tanks on the truck, really. 350s. And then you'd really never have to stop. Any good drive ran around Grand Rapids to start. 2 months on the road 5 years ago. Yeah, see, you got a problem. I would check in, since you're not too far, I would check into JAT out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, which we just talked about on the show a little bit earlier. They posted an ad, which apparently people can't find, but I posted it on Sunday. I forwarded it to my Facebook page on Sunday, which go check out at Trucking Answers on Facebook. $25 an hour plus overtime, past 40. Worth checking into, and they're at Fort Wayne, Indiana, not too far from you. Worth a call anyway. Your company hauls petroleum and hydrous ammonia, yikes. Green and flatbeds, and you're all paid by the hour. Great. I mean, so your time is all paid 100%. That's the way it should be for everybody. I mean, that's how it should be. You need healthcare, you go to Mexico for healthcare. CFI overall, I give 4 stars. Well, out of how many stars? Really? But it just depends. If you use a lot of healthcare, it's worth getting a place that has great healthcare that is not super expensive. Right, ADCO. Mark Early is at CFI and is going to keep us informed of how it's going there and the treatment of CFI. Larger carriers have smaller fuel tanks because the fuel weight and a lot they can fit more freight on there. They make smaller tanks and smaller company, the bigger the tanks. That's interesting. I have a single 135-gallon tank on my truck. But it's not for weight. It's for weight of the tractor is what they told us. That when they eliminate that other tank, then you carry less fuel because you can't hold as much and the truck gets better mileage. That's how they put it here. It's like some kind of fuel mileage thing. Because the other side is just empty. Back there's just a big hole where the tank would be. Really interesting. Tanker jobs seem to be paid hourly. Home daily ones are. Some like liquid transport in that are over the road. Some of those guys get percentage. Some of those drivers, I should say. A lot of them seem to be on percentage. Food liners big around here. We have a big Staley plant here in Lafayette, Indiana. So I see a lot of food liner trucks. I think some of them are on percentage. I'm not sure how they totally work on it. I should have my wife on doing a segment called Trucking Wife Answers. I've asked the wife to be on. She's not interested in being on. She works behind the scenes, just being my wife. So she's never been on the show. She's not here today, but someday she is home. So I asked her, but she's not interested. Yeah, look, check on JT and see what they say. I'm not sure about students or whatever, but I know they're not far from where you are, and they're just on my mind, considering their hourly pay. Nobody would worry about the log if you're getting paid by the hour. You've heard of percentage. Yeah, a lot of tanker jobs seem to pay percentage of the load. That's just what it seems to be. A lot of them are doing that. Like Trimac, some of those were percentage of the load. It just seems to vary. But some of those are percent. I know somebody that hauls milk, and he gets paid a flat rate per day. So I think that's interesting. The place at Fair Oaks Farms, just north of me, probably 100 miles north here, they have a flat rate, but those guys are home every day too. They go drop and hook. They pay They pay $217 a day or something for 10 hours. I'm not sure. Mark, I'm going to announce that next week, but they are not at the truck show, unfortunately. Have I pulled out of Indiana Packers? No. And they are not that far from here. They hire all the time, by the way, for people to work. Yeah, ADCO is on percent hauling propane. Yes. That can be an explosive paycheck. What is my opinion on ONARP? Is it still worth it? I don't think it was ever worth it. That's my opinion here. I've always maintained that really the only way maybe would be to get your own authority and own the truck yourself. But any other way, no. And I still don't think it's really worth it. For the risk you take, not really. I don't think you make more than a good company driver at the end of the year because of the risk. Because you should make more. So there's no way I would do it. When did the company show you the rates for percentage? They should just show it to you if you ask them. That's what I think. That's my opinion. Lease is a scam. Never rent a truck from a company. You're just buying a job for yourself. Looking up the booths listed, booked at the truck show, there's not that many as you would think. I was surprised to see. Look at the recruitment section. There's not that many people there. You have to trust them. They show money. Here's the thing. If you trust on percentage, you know, what does the money say? Right. In God we trust. Everybody else gets checked. They should be happy to show you the rate. They should be happy to show it to you. That's what I think. Who do you think has the best benefits package? Well, I think the best package is a free package, maybe at ABF or whatever. So it doesn't cost anything. So something like that would be good. But part of it depends. Other benefits, there are places, you know, I've seen places with 6 weeks of vacation. I get 5 weeks of vacation and 9 paid holidays. It depends. It varies widely. And some places pay vacation, but only like $400 a week. I've seen that. You got to call each place. You're on percentage at Reefer. There's more than tanker on percentage. And I think if you ask them, they should show you whatever they're making on it so that you're sure of what you're getting paid. No mileage or percentage, hourly or possibly by the load. The best way would be hourly plus overtime. That's the best. Nobody, the ELD griping would end on the spot because you'd get paid for all your time. The sitting for free, that's got to end. Best region to live for trucking jobs? Well, the East. East of 35. That's where most of the people live, so that's where most of the jobs are. The further east you go, there's more jobs, but then there's more traffic. But east of 35 is where the jobs are. That doesn't mean you can't get a job out west, certainly, but there are more jobs here. Super trucker, yikes. So sorry for the ignorance. What company do I work for? Okay, since Wild Bill wasn't here earlier, we got to get him back on here. I don't talk about who I work for. That keeps them out of my videos. So they're out of the videos, and I don't recruit for them either, unlike so many people on YouTube. I don't recruit for them or get a recruiting bonus, and I keep them out of my videos. They'll show you billing and a copy of the check. Good. So they're being upfront about it, then I don't feel bad about it. But if they wouldn't show it to you, you'd probably feel a little bit weird about it, and probably rightly so. Any info on Miami Lakes Tech School CDL program? No. It's around, you may want to see what you wrote there. I probably can't say that on here. That's an interesting part of Florida that they're in, I will tell you that. But no, I don't have any information on truck schools. There's so many of them. It would take forever to compile those, and they don't really have any information about them, so I just don't know anything about the truck schools. I recommend you go online to a truck school and look up their reviews and people that have gone there, maybe people that went there and did videos about it. I don't really have any information about truck schools, especially in that part of Florida as you posted there. Can't rock the truck back and forth on auto. You certainly can. You certainly can rock the truck back and forth on auto. You simply put it in gear and turn off the traction control and the hill start assist. There's 2 buttons for those. And the tires will spin all day long. I do it every winter. So, yeah. And then D, spin them, brakes, reverse, till it puts in a gear, back that way, back and forth. So, rock them all day long, just like a car. It just takes a little bit longer to go back and forth between the gears, but they will rock and spin. Believe me, I've gotten out of plenty of spots that way. Just spin them up, no problem. It'd only go to fifth, so you could start in fifth on ice or whatever and spin them. But you absolutely can turn off traction control and hill start assist with the buttons on the dashboard. Tires will spin all day long, no problem. The only way it wouldn't work is if your company disabled those buttons. They would have to go in and disable them. But even my company, which is all weird about that stuff, didn't turn that off because they know we'd get stuck somewhere and get the truck out. So lock them in, hill start off, traction control off, in gear, step on it, off you go. You got it made. You will get out of the snow if you can get out of it. Views are good. First impressions, yes. Oh, nice. Program Orientation Wednesday could be a freak show. It might be. It might be. And that's the thing. Well, go look at the school. That's not a bad idea, too. Before you go there, go look at, let them, have them let you walk around and see, are there 80 students per instructor, or do they have a reasonable amount of students, that kind of thing. That's worth checking into. Should a recent grad tell a company to keep them out of the Northeast? Well, you can tell them. You could probably tell them like this. Oh, I'm new. I'm kind of concerned about this. They might have some mercy on you. Or they may think, oh, we're going to put this person in the Northeast then. So you got to go sometime. Everybody goes there. It's like where the drivers got to go. So you'll probably go. Or you could just go to a company that doesn't go in the Northeast, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it. But if they go, you're going to go. Because the drivers that have been there, they're not going to want to go either. Doug, okay, you're going in. Nice. Prime takes too long for what? You wouldn't choose Prime. I wouldn't choose Prime either. I totally agree. Any advice for city driving? Yeah, just be careful, like anywhere else. It's just a total disaster of corners and stuff when I did local Chicago work. Gets you a lot of experience turning corners. I use the Smith system. That's very good. Wheels up on the trailer, right all the way forward. And then watch your swing out as you turn corners. So you don't want to catch a car in the other lane. Best GPS, I don't use truck GPSs. I run it just Google Maps for cars. Call the company in advance and use common sense. I never used a truck GPS. I wouldn't rely on it. They're too unreliable. We have Garmin built into the truck ELD thing, and it's horrible. So after using it, so I wouldn't rely on it. You're going to have to use your own common sense, a map, and the Google Maps to show you which road you're on, but watch those signs. Your current school required a test in the first week, and that ruled out a lot quickly, I bet. People think they're going to get a job, not going to happen. Automatics are great. No more missing the shift, going up and down the mountain. Yeah, look, the mountain, you got to lock it in too. That's what I think, but I like it. I like it, but I would take a manual over it if I had a choice, but I'll take the automatic, no problem. People have asked me about hair follicle testing too. I don't ask about that because I think you should be able to pass it. So I asked a couple times and I thought this is ridiculous. So I'm not going to be asking anybody about whether they give a hair follicle test. I'll assume that you get a drug test and can pass it. So that's one question I don't ask companies. If you miss a gear, you get the next one. Yeah, just use the next one. Hopefully it's not the last one, right? Civility is missing from our lives. That is correct. Did I read the article about women make better truck drivers? I posted that too. Does no one look at my Facebook page? Come on, folks. Look, I posted that over on Facebook as well. And ask, where's all the ladies? There are some on here. I always get some on here, which I'm very grateful about because there's not enough of them in driving. But look, I've been driving long enough. You look around a truck stop and go, oh, this is why there's no women drivers. Right. That's why. It just walking around there, you see, oh, right. I don't even want to be here. I certainly don't want my wife coming here. So, it's just not, that's why there's not a lot of women. Rob, no. They don't seem to be, you don't see that many more of them around. You just don't. Mark is not a fan of Facebook. I know, but there are people on every kind of media, social media, so I try to be on there. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and here, and my own blog. I have my own website, and soon a podcast. So I try to be wherever people are. Won't double clutching lead to blindness? Not if you do it right. Do I work local? Yes, I'm home every day now. I had to, because Trucking Answers is taking too much time. It takes me about 25, 30 hours a week, sometimes more. to do all these different things that I do, answer everybody's email, which some days there's 3 dozen. It varies. So, and I try to get to everybody within 2 days. It takes a lot of time. And with adding a podcast now, I just didn't have the time to be gone. So I switched over because I'm at a large place. I'm home every day now. So, but I still drive every day just like everybody else does. So don't think I'm not out there driving. I am. Ivona, oh, they test you because you're under their insurance. That's very good. I didn't think about it that way. It's always some kind of legal thing. Yeah, look far for the signs. You turn the corner, drive half a block, and they're like, no trucks. That's ridiculous too, right? You make more by the tax breaks. Yeah, there's not as many breaks as there used to be. As we talked about, they just canceled the per diem for drivers. Kevin, exactly. Yeah, that's depends, right? Depends what problem means. Define problem. Once you learn how to float gears, you will throw your automatics in the trash. I don't mind it. You know, it's slow to shift sometimes or whatever, but it makes driving easy. And, you know, I don't know. I just don't mind it. People drive an automatic vehicle to work generally. I do, and most people do. Do I watch Star Trek Discovery? No. I will not watch Star Trek Discovery. I'm not paying $8 a month for one channel. I'm just not doing it. I've been a fan all these years. Don't get me started on Star Trek. Because I've been a fan all these years. The only reason they're out there is because of people like me that started watching when I was a little kid. It changed my whole view of science. I mean, it got me interested in physics and everything. And then they're going to make me pay for it? No, I refuse to watch it. Adco, I don't know about that, but I thank you anyway. Is Dread Pirate Trucker on medication? Well, I don't know. I'll let you all decide that. I don't get into generally talking about other channels, you know, in that kind of way. We're like critiquing their channel. Everybody does their own thing on there. We'll just see that trucking has afforded a comfortable lifestyle. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's comfortable. People don't know this. My house, I have 72 rooms here in this home. That's really, really something. So, no, but seriously, you make a great living. You know, you may not live with Zuckerberg, as they say, but you'll make a living. You'll know you'll always have a paycheck. And you'll make good money, especially relative to other people, even that went to college or whatever. It's a good living. Just keep your record clean. You'll make money every week. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. Amos, well, that's between him and his doctor, right? Wanting a manual's a macho thing. I don't know. I was like this shifting a 13 speed. I just liked it. But I'll take my automatic, no problem. And people who's driving the stick to work, hardly anybody. Look around the parking lot. They don't buy it in their own car, but they sure want it in the truck. So, and I've had stick shifted cars too, but I don't right now, and probably won't be getting another one. But yeah, I think you're partly right. Part of it. And then plus with the automatic. If I get the stick shift extender for the automatic, it's way over on the passenger side. I can't shift it. You got to shift it way over here. Where the manual, you got way up here. So maybe that's part of it too. You, if I carry registration, you have enough registration? Yeah. Don't forget, everybody, get your IFTA on. It's due. Get your IFTA or your exemption form this week. You like your 12-speed? That's what I have in mind. Seems to do a good job. Doug, I appreciate that. That's something. I appreciate it, though. I'm always humbled that anybody comes in, so I really do appreciate it. Well, a single screw, yeah, we got twins here. Shift the one you're with, I agree, right? It's fun to look at train wrecks. Yeah, and there's not that many people that can drive a 13-speed anymore. Really? Is IFTA only for owner-operators? No, all trucks have an IFTA sticker. You should have one on your truck right now, and there'll be a new one coming. Go get it stuck on there, or get an exemption from your company. You love your auto. It gives you more room for fat guys. That's true. It lets you be a little bigger. You don't have to worry about all that stick in there. How much shifting you to do riding down the highway? It depends where you drive. It might matter. Maybe. I agree, though. Do I have any regrets? I don't know. I mean, regrets, I've had a few, but then again, you know, too few to mention, really. Autos are good to fall asleep. Well, but like we just said, what are you doing? You don't just shift as you drive around anyway. You should get a good night's sleep and you don't fall asleep, of course. Do the new drivers realize the driver before them who double clutch, most of them need a kneecap replacement? Yeah, early trucks certainly were much harder to shift. Now the shifter, even that is got assistance on it, soft pedal or whatever. Are we alone in the universe? Well, no, once people see most of the stuff that goes on here, they certainly won't come here. And you mean the flat universe, of course, as we always talk about on here. What happens if the sticker's not up to date? I assume you could be ticketed for that. And as you go by the scale, they can see if you have the sticker on there. It's right there. So that's, if nothing else, that's a reason to pull you in for inspection. So we need to get that put up there. I don't know if you'd get a ticket personally as a driver. It's due. So get your sticker or get the form that says you don't need a sticker for a certain date. What to look for in a truck stop when planning? Not to park on the end. That's like number one thing. Don't park on an end spot. And look for a spot that you can get out the next day. Like I like to park opposite of the fuel island because I know people aren't going to park there because they're not going to block the island, line up across it or whatever. So look for a spot you can get out of. Right across from that lane out is also a good place to park. What truck stop has the best food? Petro seem to have excellent food. Okay, Mark, thanks for coming in, and we will see you next Monday. Yeah, Wyoming will check you exactly. You're going to get checked. They can see it just driving down the street. So get your sticker. It's due. People drive automatics will wind up with a limp because their left leg shrinks to nothing. Oh, now you got it on the other side, but before it's too big. So what you do is go back and forth, automatic to manual, and keep your legs in sync. Keep getting the runaround, some extension letter that I don't have. You need one or the other. It's past January 1st. You need an extension letter or the sticker, one of the two. Get one of the two immediately. They could fax that to you, the letter, whatever. But you need it. You do need it. Good food, clean, not Twinkies and lard dogs or roller wieners, which I like to have. Bill, thank you very much. Getting back in the business, good. It's good to have you back out here. Does the DOT still check you? There are ant checks I got in Florida. They would do like produce checks and stuff. That's a good question for people that are out there. Rob, thank you very much. I appreciate that, sir. Your legs are already sticks. You need to get out there and get them worked up then. Keep up the quality content and apply knowledge. I appreciate that. I try to put out what I can out here, certainly. You have it in the glove box. It's been raining. No, I totally agree. You've got it with you, and that'd be a good thing to say, look, I've got it right here. The weather isn't good. Plus, don't stick it on your truck if you're somewhere where it's 20 below zero. It's going to peel off. It's going to flake off in those little bitty pieces, so don't do that either. But at least have it or the letter with you. When it gets warm and sunny, put it on the truck. And don't stick it over the old one. It's not allowed. I think it says it on the back of it as well. They can't be stuck over the old sticker. So don't do that either. And it's actually supposed to be stuck to a permanent part of the truck. So the door's not really allowed. Because some people stick it on the glass. That's not allowed. It has to be a part of the truck that is permanent. So that's what it says. I don't know how often they enforce that. Like on the hood, it's not allowed. Permanent part of the truck. California checks the load. So there are some places that are checking. You should get it done. Yeah, you should. But if the weather's bad, you don't want it to peel off because then you won't have one. I'd wait before that because of the peel effect. You were about to make the mistake of starting out of prime. I think you can do better. Yes, look into other places. Don't go anywhere until you find out 50 places. But first, you need to figure out what you want in trucking, not what they're giving. What do you want? And then find a place that matches that. Then you'll have a much better fit. Why do so many people that do illegal things inquire about trucking? Oh, they think it's going to be easy, dude. We could just, far out and get in a phone booth and go back in time or whatever. But that's not how it works. That isn't. So people ask me about it, and I'm not going to ask about hair follicle. I'm just not. You should be able to pass it. That's not going to be a question I ask any place at all. Pass the hair follicle or not, but I'm not asking them. Plus, what does a company think if you call them and ask them that? If you were interested in it, call them. Oh, by the way, do you guys do hair follicle, or is it only the last few days? I mean, you're fired, right? They're never going to hire you, so don't even think about it. Yeah, Doug, exactly. They're going to check you either way. Just don't be doing that stuff, right? That's no good for you. You met smart and dumb people, a lot of diversity. That's everywhere in society and everywhere else. I mean, let's say it's not that complicated of a job, so it's not like you need 10 years of college to drive. So it's a good living for people that maybe couldn't get any other kind of job. Company with a union is better than one without. I personally think so. You're going to get paid for all of your time, but that's a personal thing. The health insurance costs more than union dues. And a union company for sure is not going to let you sit around and not get paid, which so many people do today. 3 years clean and ready for the test. You're ready for the hair test. You're all set. You got it going on. And so you don't have to ask about it. Can you imagine asking, how far back do your tests go exactly? Because I'm looking at a calendar. I just want to know. Used to smoke years back, so a hair test wouldn't have been a problem. Yeah, so we don't have to worry about it now, though. We got all that out of our system, and that is, we're not doing that anymore. You never know. Remember, they never know when you call you in for a random or whatever, which you have to log on duty, just so you remember that as well. Well, 3:36, I'm going to have to bail out of here. It's local time, and head to work. I still do work a little bit. People who write to me, Mark, how do you do any work? I still work. So I do have to go to work, but I want to thank everybody for being here today on Monday at 1 p.m. It's been great as always. And it is very humbling to see everybody here. It really is. You can always write to me, mark@truckinganswersnation.com. And I write everybody gets a letter back. So I do appreciate it. And I have to head off to work. Hair test could go back years. I don't know. Do I have any hair that long in there? California Union Companies, ABF, they take students. Holland takes students. Those are two huge companies that are all over the country. Yeah, Ivona, thank you for coming in here today. I appreciate it, and for handing out demerits for me, because I missed a couple of them. I missed the freezing rain, not here. I didn't miss any here at 52 degrees, sir. Josh, thanks for coming in. Thank you, comfortable man. Let me know where you head off to after your adventure. And Doug, that is a note to close it out on for sure. So thank you, everybody, for coming in. We're going to close it out with Doug's comment, and I will see you next Monday. I'll see you on the channel and everywhere else. See you later.